Welcome to Semper Hooah podcast.
Being at TDY, it's like, we went to this one place and hung out. Bouncer was male, bartender was male, dude I was dancing with was male.
Jesus Christ.
Sounds like a good time.
Yeah. I was greatly misinformed. I thought Homo erectus was a previous ancestor of man. This guy was telling me it was something else.
All right, welcome to Semper Hooah podcast. That was enough for me. I couldn't handle that. All right.
California sucks.
California. How'd you pronounce it the other day?
California?
California. All right. Hey, welcome to the show, everyone. Thanks for listening. Sami's not here. He's had a kind of a rough few weeks. Actually, we all kind of had some rough few weeks here. We had to skip a week. Medical stuff. Tammy Sue got hospitalized. Lancey's wife was in the hospital. Jesus Christ. Sam got shot at and then got carjacked a week later. That's why he's not here right now. He's dealing with some serious fucking issues. Jonesy, I think, made it out of
Hurricane Ian.
Hurricane Ian, I don't know. And then he's got sick or gave me some bullshit excuse for not being here. So we'll figure it out. But our guest today is Gil Lopez. He's a full-time AGR 91 Bravo wheeled vehicle mechanic NCOIC. A little winded there. How's it going, bud?
You can do it. It's going pretty well. It's early morning.
You fit all that on a
wake
business
up.
card when you.
What's that?
You fit all that on your title for the business card when you. Sling it
No,
to
my
the
business
ladies?
card just says I work here.
Yeah.
That's all it says.
Which has been kind of tricky.
Because I can't really put a title on it. I do a little bit of everything. So it's just
this little that. You have been.
Right.
You've been doing a lot of stuff
Yeah.
lately. We'll get into that in a little bit here. You were been a busy bee.
yeah. It's
Around
been
our
a couple
unit.
stressful couple months.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's another guy from our unit because
Right.
we don't have any other friends outside of it. So,
It's all right. Nothing a little coin won't motivate you for.
Oh,
don't have any Marines on this week. I was trying to get Rob to come back in the closet. He'll come back at some point. So it's really just a Hooah show, not so much Semper.
Yeah.
But all right, let's do some quick pluggies and we'll dive deep into some shit. All right, please like, follow, subscribe, share, remind yourselves we're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, all podcast platforms, and watch us on YouTube or at semperhooah.com. You can follow us on Facebook at Semper Hooah Podcast and IG at Semper Hooah. Check out the merch at semperhooah.com/shop. You can support the show at semperhooah.com with a monthly subscription of your choosing. All you have to do is click that support us button, and 50% of merch profits go to Tango 3 PD.
Yep. Tango 3. They take your money and then give it back to veteran organizations that address veteran mental health issues and veteran suicide prevention through the sale of that delicious Dove Creek Akashi Wagyu beef jerky.
And don't forget to send the hate mail, contact at Semper Hooah, and DOD spiel.
And all views and opinions are not expressive of the DOD, any governmental agency, or even your mother.
Okay. All right.
Are you going to reach out to the guy about some more
Yeah.
beef jerky?
Like I said, the
'Cause-
last few weeks have been a little rough, but last episode we were talking, I probably should. It's been since February since I talked to this guy. It's really good beef jerky. You've had it before?
I don't think so.
Oh,
Not
my God.
this
Yeah.
one.
So we had one of our
yes.
guys, which I think Sample is going to come on the show at some point.
At some point, when he gets back from his little
That's how
extended
we-
vacation to the warm, sandy beaches of the Middle
That's
East.
right.
Yeah, we got hooked up with him through Tango 3. Talked to the guy. It's been since February.
Yeah.
I fucked up.
I have some, I don't know if it's deer jerky that I found in
The
Jones-
motor pool.
No, in Jones's desk when I moved in there.
Oh,
It's a big old log of
good old Jones.
dried up meat.
Yeah.
All right, let's do some quick current events. Some nasty shit. Let's do some quick current events. The first thing up here, actually, before we get into the Russian special military operation, I just want to give a shout out to our boys down in Florida, National Guard and Coast Guard, for saving everybody from all that crazy shit. I know Coast Guard was up like the 260 plus saved lives as the other day. NG's been working their asses off. Not just first responders, civilians, everyone's.
They're
doing
now
their part.
renting jet skis as Ubers.
Yes. That's a
Yeah.
great fucking meme.
Things are rough out there.
Tough stuff, thoughts and prayers, all that good shit. If you could help out, I think there's like a website. I think it's a Florida fundraiser. No, Florida.
Father-in-law get hit?
No, the house was okay, not too bad. Our Kyle, our guest from before, who's been on the show, he was in the thick of the shit. I mean, texting me
I
up.
saw the video.
Yeah, he was just like, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. I'm like, because he was like right there.
Not
That's
the
the
boat.
not the boat. Anything
Not
but
the
the
boat.
But anyway, yeah, shout out to the Nasty Girls and the Coast Guard for kicking ass down there and helping out. And once again, everyday civilians and first responders, a bunch of other people. So All right, let's get into the Russian special military operations in Ukraine. What do you got really quick for us,
well,
Petey?
craziness. Nord Stream pipeline that runs into Baltic Sea just north of Poland. Suspicious explosions. A bunch of them that went and destroyed some of the pipeline, which was Russia's main line going into Germany and all that. So a lot of investigations that are currently occurring, but the Ruskies did it. Then, secondly, we've had the annexation of 4 regions of Ukraine. It was Donetsk, Luhansk, Zaporizhzhia, and Kherson. They had a fake election, right? And allegedly, overwhelmingly, the population there has voted for Russian annexation. No. Which is funny because right at the beginning of the war, there was a whole bunch of surveys that were done, and it was only about like 1 in 5 people that were supportive of Russia in that general region. So definitely Russia is now laying claim to large portions of eastern Ukraine. Obviously, the worldwide community is condemning it. They're not recognizing it. Even Ukrainian presidents saying, hey, it's all bullshit. Even this morning, I was checking up on the updates. In one of the territories, Ukraine just liberated another major city. So I think it's just more of Russia doing what Russia's going to be doing until they get their ass smacked completely.
Didn't they have like a bunch of, was it people like evac the country too, or 98,000 people trying to dodge
Russians
basically dodge a draft?
Yeah, because Putin put up a 300,000 person draft. Funny enough, a lot of the people that were arrested protesting that draft wound up getting pre-filled out draft notices as well too at the lockups, right? So,
well, we had a new T-shirt design. I was talking to Roscoe Van Dam. We're gonna do the Russian draft dodger.
Oh, yeah, and it's funny because they're running to places like fucking Kazakhstan and Tajikistan, all the stands, just to get out of it, right? And they're like, hey, I don't have anything other than just get the hell out of Dodge because I'm not going to go die for Putin's glory or whatever. So
yeah, fuck him right in the butt.
That's right.
We got anything else?
No, that's pretty much the main things that's been going on there.
All right, you're caught up with us with that. If you don't know it already, you heard it here. All right, crazy shit going on over there. Hopefully they could. Oh yeah, there's more money going over there too, right?
Oh yeah, like $12 billion more.
Crazy shit.
That's right.
All right.
It's all right. Milk's like $10 a gallon now.
All right, we got the story that I was trying to cover last week if we were here, but it was a Navy veteran that was held in Afghanistan for 2 years, released in exchange for a Taliban drug lord.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of fucking nuts. Was it Mark? How do you pronounce that name?
Frericks.
I'm so bad with names. Navy veteran was abducted while working as a contractor more than 2 years ago. Was heading home after being freed by the Taliban in exchange for a Taliban drug lord who had been in the U.S. custody for 17 years, a senior administration official told reporters.
Yeah, only we're allowed to deal drugs out of Afghanistan.
Yeah, what the fuck?
I mean, never mind.
Yeah. All right. Well, he's home. I'm not even going to get the rest of that crap. Well, it's a U.S. government official. No.
Yeah.
What else happened here? Oh,
no,
you want this one?
Oh, yeah.
Well, if you don't mind, I got a quick current event.
Oh, yeah.
So, in my first unit, I'm not going to put it out there, but I just want to give a quick shout out to my first unit for being 2 for 2 for housing 2 Chinese spies.
Oh,
yeah.
I think one of them, we have a scumbag that's recovering on that, by the way.
Yeah.
So it might be.
Yeah, so yeah.
Is that the one that just popped in the news right now?
Yeah, just recently, yeah. So I think the first one popped up like around 2017, 2016.
Yeah, I think we're covering he's one of our scumbags who just got convicted of it. So
okay,
it mentions the other. So really,
so I was at that unit around 2015, 2016, and they were both part of the MAPV program.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they weren't really officially in, but they were still, going to drill, doing all the Hooah stuff.
And that's like them becoming the American citizens, right? That's
right,
the program.
right. Yeah, that's when you enlist in the Army, and then the Army says, well,
we had a bunch of those kids.
Yeah, for joining, we'll give you citizenship. But
yeah.
But yeah, so I had this one buddy who was an engineer who, like, right off the bat, he saw them, and like he's kind of like I wouldn't say a racist asshole, but he's an asshole for sure. He would just be like, oh, you guys are, he would just call them off the bat, these Chinese spies.
Wow.
So when the first one popped up,
he's like, I told you.
Yeah, he just got in, we have a group chat, and he just got on there. He's like, I told you. And he shared the link. And then just recently, the second one popped up, and they're like, oh, he's 2 for 2. So.
And it's like, I just couldn't imagine, like, whoever his case handler was, his spy handler or whatever. It's like, all right, I need you to report in. Multiple Mondays suck, Vehicle dress right dress online, PMCS. No one has a TN.
I actually, it's kind of crazy because my LT is Chinese. I called him out on the show actually. Called him on the show last couple seasons ago, and he comes up to me, goes, "So I'm a spy now." I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I still think you are."
But we're cool though, right?
We're good, right? Yeah, we're actually. It's funny 'cause we're gonna talk about that guy. He's in our scumbag list.
Okay.
And because I saw
Your LT?
no. Oh shit! All right, actually, Peter, you want this one?
Yeah, absolutely. Air Force is doing all the right things, huh? Aim high. Air Force green lights waivers for THC positive applicants. The Air Force and the Space Force are now offering a second chance to applicants who test positive for the high-inducing chemical THC during their entrance physical. The temporary policy change marks an attempt to rethink an aspect of the Air Force's stringent ban on marijuana use as the service struggles to meet its recruiting goals. You don't say. I kind of recall the invasion and the years immediately afterwards where every gangbanger, druggie, or whatever else was allowed in because, hey, we needed bodies to go to Iraq.
Need those bodies.
That's right.
But what about now when the Army said, "Oh, you don't need a high school education. We'll take you as is."
Yeah.
And then about a month later, it's like, "Nah, never mind."
Well,
we fucked up.
And we were having this conversation when I was on TDY, and it's kind of like, man, everybody's struggling with recruiting right now and all that stuff. All you need is one major event to pop off, and all your, hey, time to go do hood rat stuff with my hood rat friends,
I believe, Air Force numbers are down, right?
Everybody's numbers are down.
Marine Corps is up, though. Marine Corps is actually good.
What?
Yeah, well, because they're small anyway. Well, it's easy to fill. Like, there's 200,000 of us. All right.
All right. So previously, a positive THC result on an initial test would have led to a permanent bar from entry into the Air Force or Space Force. Air Force spokesperson Ann Stefanik said, "The pilot program offers some prospective applicants an opportunity to retest after 90 days if they are granted a waiver," which kind of goes back to the discussion we've had for a long time, right? Marijuana use in society has become somewhat more acceptable, legalized for recreational use, et cetera,
Really?
right?
No.
Is DOD going to catch up and, start treating marijuana use similar to alcohol? However you weigh the pros and cons of marijuana use, but I think that might be the right direction. When you have potentially very good candidates that happen to smoke a blunt or something that are now being rejected, so... And you think Space Force, right? I mean, these guys are dealing with some pretty nerdy shit. You figure you need to blow off some steam a little bit here and there, right?
I think it's a good thing. Let them have it. It's just fucking weed. It's going to get legal at some point, right? Like federally at some point. We're going to figure that part out, though. That'll be later. Anyway, good on the Air Force and Space Force. Of course, always ahead,
Yep.
They set the standard.
They
Hands
do,
in the
right?
pockets, man.
Hands in the pocket. Dude, they can do everything right now.
Beards. I think they're trialing out beards.
No.
Yeah.
Really? Beards?
Yeah.
That's
a
awesome.
small contingent of Air Force people are being allowed to have beards. So.
Oh, that's fucking badass. All right. What else happened here? All right. So Taliban bans popular video game for promoting violence. Oh, wow. Really?
Pot meet kettle. Kettle meet pot.
Oh, my God. You can't spell Taliban without ban. Jesus Christ. I'm already fucking it up. All right. And the current Afghan regime continues to live up to that reputation, and then some. This time, it's from the form of blocking a platform that once brought joy to its country's masses. I didn't even know they had fucking video games over there. That's great for them. Within the next 3 months, the Taliban will be eliminating Afghans' access to the video game Player Unknown's Battleground, or PUBG. Oh, Jesus. I didn't even know that was what it was called. So PUBG, which the nation's new leadership characterized as promoting violence and misleading youth, according to the Kaham press. Kaham?
Yeah, but Grand Theft Auto Kandahar is still okay.
Yeah, right. The decision to block the game was made by the country's Minister of Telecommunications, which I can't believe they have one of those, following deliberations with the national security sector and a representative from the Sharia law enforcement administration. Perhaps the most robust coalition of video games are to blame boomers in human history. So yeah, all right, fun for Jesus Christ. I didn't even know they had that shit over there.
Aren't you a gamer as well?
Yeah, I partake every now and then. I know PUBG took off more on like mobile phones.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh really? It's
So
on.
it was a mobile phone.
Yeah.
So
Gotcha.
I thought they used their cellular devices for other intended purposes, but
Yeah.
Click click.
dial click.
All right.
All right.
You got the next one?
Yeah, this one's going to be a good one because shout out to the soldier coming out on top, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So Meta, a.k.a. Facebook, a.k.a. Instagram, a.k.a. WhatsApp,
Big brother.
ordered to pay $175 million for copying a Green Beret veterans app. Meta Inc., the parent company of Facebook and Instagram, was found by a federal jury in Austin, Texas, to have infringed on 2 patents held by Voxer Inc., a walkie-talkie messaging app founded by a former Army Green Beret. The social media giant was ordered to pay nearly $175 million in damages. Good for you, Green Beanie.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I read the story, too. So, like, this Green Beanie was a communications sergeant in Special Forces. Even though, like, you know, obviously we have radios and SATCOM and all this other shit. They just kind of wanted, like, point-to-point communication, kind of walkie-talkie, Nextel, hey, can you hear me now style. And so he created this app. And he went and pitched it to Meta. And they're like, oh, we like your product. And then all of a sudden, like, we don't like your product. We're not getting into any kind of agreement. And lo and behold, you know, in that process, he had to open up, like, his proprietary information. And then lo and behold, like, technologies are showing up in Meta's suite of, you know, software or whatever else. So
$175 million, though.
Hey, man.
Ooh, that's a payday,
Right.
right? What the fuck do you do with that?
doing good.
You think they're going to...
I mean, that's a drop in the bucket for Meta, right?
But,
But
you
for
think they're
him,
going to pay it out, though?
oh,
I think they're going to fight it?
Well, they're going to fight it,
Yeah, they're
right?
gonna fucking
Absolutely.
appeal and...
But hey, it's
Dude, good for
it's
you.
his.
Good for,
Yeah.
good for you. That generational wealth.
Right,
That's
right.
fucking awesome.
Did you guys get a nice little check from Meta when they were doing the whole
No.
Yeah, 'cause the Illinois
lawsuit?
thing?
Yeah, the
I
Illinois
think
thing?
it was
I
like
failed to do
$3.19. No, it's like
no. Everybody
some
was
people
getting
got like 400.
$300-400
Yeah,
bucks.
yeah, it was
yeah.
I don't remember.
And
I'm
then
so mad.
Snapchat had one,
I think that's still ongoing.
but as soon as they opened up, I mean, within like 12 hours,
Mm-hmm.
it was already like booked. Like you weren't able to apply anymore.
Oh,
I'm gonna hop on that Camp Lejeune thing. All right.
Yeah. Okay. yeah. Semper Gumby here.
Yeah.
I'm so mad because that email went into my spam folder. So I'm like, this ain't real. This ain't
Just
legit.
Right. Right.
And I was talking to all my buddies, and they're like, yeah, I got like $300-400. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Fucking.
So mad.
That was over the face recognition stuff, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yep.
of the Illinois
Yeah.
law and all that crap. That whatever.
All right. Sailor found not guilty of Bonhomme Richard
It's
arson.
Boham Richard, by the way. This
Yeah.
is if Sam was here.
Yeah,
It's
Bonhomme Richard.
Bonhomie Richard.
Right. Navy judge has ruled a sailor not guilty of setting a fire to destroy the USS Bonhomme Richard in San Diego in 2020.
I love
Isn't this the kid that like failed out of buds or something like that and set like fire to curtains or some shit in a storeroom?
Supposedly, but then it turned into another eyewitness saw a dark-skinned gentleman leaving that area with the fire. I'm like,
Oh.
blame it on the black guy.
Right.
Here we go again.
All right. So the ruling Friday came after a 9-day trial at Navy Base San Diego. Seaman recruit Mays was found not guilty on the charges of willful hazarding of a vessel and aggravated arson. The Navy is committed to upholding the principles of due process and the fair trial, said Lieutenant Samuel R. Boyle, spokesman for the 3rd Fleet. Prosecutors charged then 19-year-old Ryan Sawyer Mays with arson and a willful hazarding of a ship and accused him of igniting cardboard boxes in the lower vehicle storage area. Oh, the ship's motor pool. There's no physical evidence, however, tying Mays to the fire on that ship, which was docked and undergoing maintenance at that time. But I thought, like, in the course of that stuff, didn't he admit to some shit?
I thought so, too. And so things went back and forth. I don't think he actually admitted stuff. He was always saying no, but he was just kind of being an asshole, and nobody really liked him.
Okay.
You know, it was being kind of a sketch thing here. Yeah, but he got off, and there was, like, a whole year of him, like, I think he was on our scumbag list.
Yes,
for-
he was.
Yeah, I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
Redemption. There you go.
Because
Justice.
Sami was...
Hey, you're free. You're
really
a POG Pro
pissed
now.
about
There
it.
you go.
Hey.
All right. You made the POG Pro status. All right. I know we're got some stuff to go. One thing I want to talk about, too, is if you guys... I brought it up right before the show. Like, you guys see the new barracks, that new ribbon coating?
No.
No,
where was it?
not
It was
yet.
in Benning, I believe. Dude, all right. I think I got some pictures here. Let me see. I'm doing Jones's job here at the same time,
Yeah.
so it's a little hard. Let me see if I could do this without fucking it up here. Pull these things up here. All right, I'm going to switch over. If you're watching, enjoy. Hopefully I didn't fuck it up. Nope, I fucked it up. See? Look at that.
Yeah.
Yep, never mind. You can't see the pictures. I didn't test it out before. All right, so doesn't matter. I have this.
All right. So
Anyway,
what's the
they're
deal with
nice.
these barracks?
Dude,
They're
they
nice?
fucking look epic. I'm looking at it off to the side here. Like, I I'd go back to active and just live in the goddamn barracks for
Better
this shit.
than any fucking barracks I've been in.
I wish I could show some of them.
Fort Stewart's been popping off
Like,
about.
you guys can see some of them on this screen. Nobody else is watching.
Their mold inspections. So they're making all these Joes paint over mold right before the
Oh,
surprise
I
mold
did see
inspections
that.
and stuff.
Yeah.
You see
It's
this?
like, come
though?
on, just address the fucking problem.
Look how nice that looks.
That kind of reminds me of the hotel from Leavenworth.
Right.
Oh,
Oh, man, that
yeah,
hotel
that
was
was a
nice.
great
That's the
place.
nicest hotel I've ever stayed in for Army shit.
Because it used to be a school, and then they converted it to
That was nice.
a hotel.
Oh, this is going to be a good one. Political candidate accused of stolen valor claims his deployments are classified. An Air Force veteran running for a congressional seat in Ohio spent much of his time on the campaign trail invoking tough combat missions he was on in Afghanistan in 2002. But reporting by the Associated Press found no evidence that Republican candidate J.R. Majewski had any such deployment, let alone a combat-heavy one as he claimed.
What a shitty name, by the way.
Right. Majewski
Majewski.
has a simple, easy explanation as to why his service record doesn't show the combat deployments he often brings up. They're classified. So why are you bringing it up? Secret Squirrel Supply Sergeant. I was in multiple bases in Afghanistan, and the time frame is clear. In 2002, he said at a news conference on Friday, after the Associated Press reported his service record. We flew in and out of the area of responsibility multiple times. It's almost impossible for me to tell you where I was and on what day. That's why my orders are listed as a classified location.
Yeah,
Okay.
classified. Come on.
It's that simple.
Yeah.
Majewski, by his own words, would regularly fly out of Qatar into Afghanistan shortly after the war began. Campaign ads and biographies.
The name is so anti-Semitic. or is it? You know,
It'd actually be Maevsky, but
My-
I Englished it up a little bit.
Majewski. Go on.
Campaign ads and biographies said his squadron was deployed to Afghanistan early in 2002, where he saw heavy combat. But the Associated Press's reporting showed no record of his time in Afghanistan, including a lack of an Afghanistan campaign medal. That's kind of basic.
Yeah, I think that kind of like says you're fucking full of shit.
Instead, the Air Force veteran was stationed in Japan and had a 6-month stint in Qatar, but was tasked with helping to pack and unload planes heading in and out of that base.
Okay.
He hasn't shown any evidence or corroboration of these missions, nor brought in any colleague or commander who could confirm that Majewski was on these apparently secret deployments. However, he has said that records from his personnel file that confirm his claim. Of course, if those deployments are classified, Majewski has been openly talking about them in great detail for some time now, despite the supposed missions being secret. Yeah, someone signed an NDA?
Yeah.
The candidate posted service documents on social media, but none show any deployments to Afghanistan. He also claimed to have been deployed to South Korea. His record does show a temporary duty travel to the country, but not any deployment. Big difference. Since the Associated Press continued or reported on Majewski's claims, he said he is staying in the race in Ohio and called the reporting a hit piece. However, it's having negative impacts on his campaign. The House Republicans have already pulled an almost $1 million ad campaign slated for Majewski after his service claims were disputed.
Right, and then this actually added on to the story because I just found out some more stuff. So if we keep going with it, because that's where this is a little winded one here. But go on.
Barely a week after the Associated Press revealed him to be a douchebag, the news outlet revealed that Majewski had also misrepresented the circumstances of his past punishment and demotion the previous year. While Majewski's campaign reportedly told the Associated Press that the candidate was punished and demoted to the rank of E2 for his involvement in the Air Force dormitory brawl in 2001, records show that his non-judicial punishment proceedings obtained by the Associated Press and published online indicate that Majewski was in fact demoted for driving drunk at Kadena Air Force Base in Japan on September 8th
And there it is.
of that year while assigned to the 733rd Air Mobility Squadron.
And which I kind of want to now just put him on the...
Scum Bag.
Yeah.
This is a scumbag moment.
It's like, dude, what a piece of shit. And he's running. All right. That's fucking great. Get rid of him. We'll see how that turns out for him. All right.
If you gotta make a story, make it big.
What do we got up next
and
here?
untraceable.
Yeah, it's classified.
All right. Space Force top enlisted sings Journey's Don't Stop Believin'. All right.
Is that their new branch song?
I think they fucked that up, though. All right. Every time a group of drunks venture into a karaoke bar, one thing's for certain. They will unharmoniously, God damn it,
Unharmoniously.
Jesus, that's a long, I typed that part up too. Belt the lyrics to Journey's famous ode for desperate folks with unrealistic hopes. Don't stop believing. That was really bad too. And while Space Force, America's newest and most unexpected military branch, just released its official song, which I still haven't heard. Is it shit?
It's bad.
It's that bad? All right. Its top enlisted Chief Master Sergeant Roger Doberman, you know what I mean, Matt? Last names, chose to celebrate with the 1981 classic at the Air and Space Forces Association Air, Space, and Cyber Conference at National Harbor, Maryland. They have their own conference. That's fucking
every
insane.
branch does. Yeah.
Well, like, this is okay, whatever. It's a travesty that Netflix canceled season 3 of Space Force because the real life branch can't seem to avoid providing endless material for Steve Carell's General Mark R. Nard.
Oh, that would have been great.
You really would. And I guess it's plus those new uniforms too. Still, however cringe it may be to some to watch others indulge, don't stop believing. Viewers on social media couldn't help but be impressed with Doberman's vocal stylings. I think it's pretty good. Well, I got the video here. The video of the performance posted on Facebook page of Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force Joanne Bass and garnered more than 50,000 views. Bass? Is that Bass? Bass?
There was this huge quarrel that she had on social media.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think, yeah, I got the quick little thing of it. Let's see how it turns up. If I could do this right without Jonesy. Not bad.
Actually.
So is that the one? Is that her? One of the problems? Or is it just some random blonde chick who can't dance that well?
Sharp.
Yeah, right there. It's fucking uniforms, man. He's not bad, though. We're definitely getting flagged on YouTube for this one. It's a karaoke song. Oh, she's a leg kick by her?
That wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad, right? He's pretty good.
It doesn't beat the one where I think it was the Navy. They sang the Lion King theme song.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think I remember that one. Yeah,
I don't know. Some of the army bands that do like the rock concerts and stuff like that, they're actually not bad at all.
Not
like,
too shabby.
Yeah. Like we have genuine musicians that
Yeah,
are playing,
they're pretty good, right?
I mean, isn't that what they pretty much get brought in for?
Yeah,
like the
absolutely.
band,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a band. Like,
Yeah.
oh, you can play
Yeah.
the trumpet really well. All right,
Good
cool.
for
Yeah.
you.
Come blow for us.
That's the new recruiting slogan. 2023, come blow for us.
Love
Army.
it. All right.
Ooh, I like this one.
Oh, yeah.
Texas couple buys surplus military gun case, finds a dozen M16s inside.
Jackpot.
I think this is the one where they have the Pat Roberts, the televangelist. He's like, Lord, I know what you've done for other people. Please do the same unto me. A Houston couple who thought they had bought 108 empty gun cases from a military surplus website was stunned to find that one of the cases delivered to them wasn't empty. Instead, it held a dozen M16-style military rifles, complete with military tracking tags.
Ooh.
Some supply sergeant's fucked.
Yeah. That E5's now an E1.
Yeah.
When a husband and wife who asked Houston broadcaster ABC 13 not to identify them discovered the cache of military guns, they reported the shipment to federal authorities who have been trying to figure out what happened. It's just a case. Everyone can buy it online, the woman who purchased the case with her husband told ABC 13. She said they regularly purchase surplus goods in bulk, then split up the lot to resell online. Spokesperson for the ATF Houston Field Division confirmed that the agency seized 12 carbine-style rifles from the boxes which the couple stored in the town of Richmond, about 40 minutes outside Houston. The spokesperson said the ATF was investigating the origin of the rifles as the lead agency on the case, with the FBI assisting. The woman told ABC 13 that the couple had paid between $100 and $200 per case from GovPlanet.
Good deal. For, was it 12 units?
Yeah.
12 units?
GovPlanet is a hub for
And a
government
case.
agencies
And a case,
and the military to sell unwanted equipment, according to its website, through surplus M16s are not among that inventory. The couple immediately called authorities upon finding the guns. We are dumb. I mean, good citizens, the woman said.
I had it at that time. Come on. Dude, you just got 12.
But weren't they already?
Right.
They were tracing them already. They were trying to track them down. No.
Were they?
No,
I
it
know,
doesn't.
I know.
It wasn't
The
until-
article doesn't indicate it.
or
Yeah.
it wasn't until
all
they
they
had
had
they
is
told them
the
themselves.
The
military trick.
RFID tags, like in
I don't
like
know. I don't
active
mean-
duty
I don't mean
bases.
nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah, but it's like,
you got to be close to read them anyway.
what
so.
is with people these days? I know, being a good person, that's great. You just got free shit. Relax, put that shit in your, save it for a rainy day. You never know.
Now the question is if they were new or if they were used. Because if they were used,
I think they were brand new. And they looked, I mean, just even looking from this image here, they looked, whatever. Regardless, you're getting 12 fucking M16s.
They're new from Vietnam.
Was it M4s or M16s? Which one was it?
Oh, I don't know. I'm trying to look at the picture there.
That's the M16
Those
style.
look like
Those
look like
probably
M16s.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like a
So
collapsible.
they might have
butt
been actually been for a while. So some supply starting they got out like 20 years ago.
Not on my books.
I'm out.
stock. Hey, you joke, but I deployed with an M16, so
I
was the only one in Iraq with a musket.
Buddy, I joined the Army 20 years ago. I know what an M16 is.
Right.
I get it.
Just saying, they're not obsolete yet. So
I know.
Right.
Well, Marine Corps still has them. A
Yeah.
shitload of them, too.
Well, they get our handy downs. So
yeah,
absolutely.
All the Navies and we actually as reservists we get like National Guard hand-me-downs too, which is fucking horrible. All right, so jackpot, you fucked up. All right, so this is kind of a light throwback because it happened this year. We didn't get a chance to cover it. I want to cover it, but it made like news on the military
it's another
side.
long one.
But it's interesting though, and I think you should start this one off though.
Because it's a long one.
Yeah, you're better at that thing.
Navy pilot describes crapping his pants at 30,000 feet.
Oh, yeah,
That's right.
I had to do it.
Sometimes when nature calls, there's just nothing you can do about it. Like if you're sitting in a cockpit of an FA-18 Frank fighter jet, cruising along at 30,000 feet, and your body decides that now is the time to evacuate your lunch of lobster and coffee. Fucking
Dude, that's
awful.
gotta suck.
Published at the Ethiopian earlier this year, naval aviator Bobby McKay recounted in detail just what it's like. During a deployment to the Arabian Gulf, McKay was piloting an FA-18 during a late-night training mission to practice employing high-speed anti-radiation missiles. As McKay wrote, he had spent the afternoon dining on steak and lobster, as well as plenty of coffee,
Must be nice.
and had already taken care of some pre-flight bubble guts to avoid a situation like, say, shitting oneself in a cockpit. McKay's digestive system apparently had other plans. As soon as we started accelerating at about 3 times the force of gravity, I felt something move in me, he wrote. When I took the controls, I immediately had the thought that this might have been a long hour and a half. McKay's first used several relief bags to urinate, but that was apparently just the tip.
Oh.
Dude, I think this might be the night. I have the bubble guts and I need you to put your mask on, McKay told his weapons officer who was seated in front of him in the cramped and very sealed
so
cockpit.
fucking bad, right?
After a fruitless attempt to maneuver in the cockpit and create a makeshift relief bag, McKay was left with no choice but to just let it all out.
Oh, God.
I simply relaxed and let the warmth spread across my seat. It was so hot, it felt like a hot tub. Bubbled and oozed and was revolting but strangely comforting, wrote McKay.
It isn't the satire even. This is great.
Right. Momentarily relieved of his gastrointestinal distress, McKay, of course, now had to alert the aircraft carrier of the sticky situation on board the plane. Recalling an older incident in which a pilot tried to remain vague, McKay chose the blunt approach. He simply said, "This is the pilot on aircraft 202. I shit my pants. I need a cleanup crew."
Straight to the point.
That's right. No need hiding it. Everybody's going to smell it anyway.
Oh, dude. It's so rough.
Unfortunately, the pants shitting was not over, as
Oh,
it happened
no.
to McKay again on a return flight. And on his first landing attempt, McKay's aircraft flew over the arresting wires on the flight deck, known as the bolter, further extending this now extremely wet and foul-smelling ride. It just fucking splattered everywhere.
I just can't imagine it.
I had leaned forward in my seat, expecting the wires to stop me, but when they did it, my butt hydroplaned backwards in my seat like a Zamboni cleaning up a wet ice rink.
Dude, this guy's got to get on the show. We got to get him.
When he eventually landed the plane, a humbled McKay was met by his roommate, towel and a replacement flight suit in hand. There was nothing left to do but make the long walk to the restroom and clean up.
Jesus.
No AAR.
Yeah, right.
At the time, McKay had not yet received the call sign, but needless to say, the suggestion immediately started pouring in. While the suggestion Fox Poo 2 Shits was a strong contender, the eventual winner was Stab, short for Shit Twice and Bolter. I love it. That's not such a bad outcome, all things considered. So if you've ever wondered what it's like to crap your pants in a high-performance naval aircraft, now you know.
Oh, my God, dude. That's fucking crazy. Can you just imagine that, though? Like, it's one thing to shit your pants, right?
Right.
Do it twice, and you give nowhere to go. It's not like you're fucking a car.
Yeah,
Right. In the cabin, air pressure.
Yeah.
Where it's just,
The worst I had was just throwing up on that Black Hawk repeatedly, but, I mean, that still wasn't that
And almost
bad.
falling out of it at the same time.
Yeah, that was rough.
Getting caught by, like, a little guy.
Yeah.
Like, little Rios was just, like, grabbing him.
Not Pete.
No. But, yeah, dude, like, dude, that's horrible.
That's rough. I feel bad for that weapons officer.
Just like, dude, put your mask on.
I mean, at least he was behind him though.
Yeah,
Like,
I
if
mean,
he was in front
Just
of him,
remember
everything
all
just
that
going
shit moving forward,
flashback.
though.
it's just it's a tight area. If you don't have that mask on, I mean, I'm sure the mask works well. You probably could have
Oh yeah,
purged that
also-
little air out, freaking fresh oxygen. Oh my god, dude! Can you imagine trying to like wiggle down in there and trying to
But I know
Put a
like
bag-
wag
a wag
bags. I
bag?
mean, wag bags.
just it's for your
not gonna do
it's
it.
for your dick. That's
Right.
That's all it is. Like you can't put your butthole up to that thing.
Anybody
Especially
have
with-
an ammo can I can sit on?
Like I don't even know like how does the joystick in an F-18? It's F-18, right?
Yeah, it was an F-18. Yeah.
So how the hell is like where is that at? Is it center mass or is it off to the side? Like
I don't know, but he's starting his own squadron of the Brown Angels.
it's fucking crazy. All right, crazy story, fun shit. I gotta see if I can get this guy on the show. That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
We have a Navy anyway, so that'd be pretty awesome if we get the guy that shit his pants.
Finally.
All
And
right.
a pylon.
I'll work on that just like I did with the Tango 3 guy.
Yeah,
We'll figure it out.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I know. You're right on it.
Yep.
Coming soon.
Yeah.
All
How
right.
about you reach out to us?
Yeah, please.
We don't know who you are. Hopefully you listen to the show.
Stab. All right.
Stab one.
All right, what we got?
All right. I think it's time for satire.
Is it that time? We go. Yeah, it is.
It's-
All right.
Yeah.
You want me to? You got
I
it?
got
I know
it.
you like doing them.
Moscow. Uh-oh. The whole thing's a shit show.
Yeah.
The Russian army plans to modify its fitness test to include the drop, scream, and run event. Sources confirmed today. Oh. The test is set to reflect the type of action Russian soldiers face during a war special military operation in Ukraine. The
Yes.
test features soldiers. The test features soldiers dropping a simulated AK-12. Mosin nagants and pointy sticks will be used for volunteers. Which did you see the picture of all these recruits that are now like their basic training now is 2 weeks,
Oh.
and they're being issued no helmets, ragtag pieces of like uniforms, and most of the guns.
Oh, that's crazy.
Screaming at a decibel loud enough to warn others, and then sprint in the direction of Moscow. The test was developed to give new Russian soldiers a realistic sense of the combat and elite infantry maneuvers they're likely to see in Ukraine. We learned that many soldiers were not prepared for this type of action than we are seeing, said Kremlin spokesperson and 80s Bond supervillain Spatsaya Begsom. We found many of our soldiers were collapsing, soiling themselves, and crying instead of making a proper reverse attack. Despite their best effort, the Russian super-duper special military operation has not... Oh, I forgot. Trademarked. Has not gone as planned. Reports indicate that Russia has suffered over 80,000 casualties since February. Many of the casualties were the result of soldiers falling from open windows while not being properly trained on how to fall safely, according to the Russian Ministry of Defense. The drop, scream, and run is only the first of many planned amendments to the current fitness test. Other additions will include empty fuel can carry, simulated digging of civilian mass graves. Oh,
So bad.
oh, yikes! Reading a map, rat catching, and rat cooking. This is like a fucking Borat. Yeah. The new test will begin October 1st, but may be pushed back by Ukrainian forces.
He is my neighbor. He is barely my assholes.
Oh, yeah, dude, I love it.
That almost takes me back to when, before the invasion, Ukrainian propaganda ministry or whatever the hell they're calling it, they had a Facebook meme out there, and it's like different types of headaches. Like this is a tension headache. This is just a pressure headache. This one is like a migraine headache. And then the headache living next to Russia.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, interesting things going on over there. Great satire. All right, we got a
Oh, Russia.
full of it's spiked back up though out of nowhere, right? Like, I mean, like the stories and everything that's going on. Like it was kind of like this
because they're
lull.
fucking up.
Yeah, it's crazy shit.
Yeah.
All right, it's that time of the week. It's our POG Pro. This might be one of the highest ranking POG Pros we've ever had.
Real man of hero.
All right, this week's POG Pro is Army Lieutenant Colonel Daniel Brillhart.
Is that really him?
That's him. That's him. That's legit. That's him
That
getting
is
his
like
award.
the worst
That's him right there. He's getting his
picture
getting
ever.
an award. Yeah, well, he's a fucking.
Oh my God, what
He's
actor
pink-
does he
he's-
look like? He
he's-
looks like that one fat Jewish comedian.
Oh,
guy.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Fuck, what was his name? I don't know.
And as soon as you mentioned him, I think about that one movie where he's with his family driving in that Nazi vehicle.
Yeah, that's the one. That's exactly the same
Still
guy.
Trying to figure that one out.
Oh, he
Trying to-
crashes, gets a little Hitler mustache.
Oh,
and he's
yeah.
talking about World War II veterans, and he starts
Oh my
shooting
God!
back.
That is Rat
Was-
Race, the movie Rat
Yes,
Race, and
Rat
that's John Levitz, right? Boom! God
Boom.
damn it! I still know my early '90s comics.
Yep.
All right. All right. So our POG Pro, an Army physician now stationed at Fort Hood, Texas, received the Purple Heart earlier this month, 2 years to the day after he was wounded during an ambush in Somalia in 2020. All right. According to the press release, Brill Hart, am I saying that right? Brill Hart? Yeah.
Go for
got it. Along with a contingent of U.S. and Somali partner forces. We have partners in Somalia.
We do.
All right. Endured heavy small arms fire after a vehicle-borne explosion device detonated 50 meters from their position on September 7th, 2020 in an unspecified part of Somalia. It's all kind of unspecified over there. It's weird. All right. Despite his injuries, Brillhart quickly leapt into action, providing medical care and evacuation for other wounded U.S. and Somali personnel before manning a fighting position for 72 hours. God fucking A.
A medical officer
Yeah,
on top
right.
of that. There you go.
Inflicting heavy losses on enemy forces, according to the release. Fucking great, right? Brillhart and his team endured... Sorry. I got to start that over because I just read that. Brillhart and his team endured stiff enemy resistance while manning fighting positions during the tech. I got to start writing things when I'm drunk. And providing medical treatment to over 24 friendly casualties. Wow. Which ultimately allowed the element to fight their way back to friendly lines without further losses, according to the Army. All right, dude. Well, hats off to the fucking POG Pro there. Lieutenant Colonel, and not only Doc, but 72-hour fighting position. Dude.
Right.
That's respect, dude. Getting probably got injured as well.
Yeah.
I don't awfully give high-ranking dudes some fucking shit but that's impressive.
Yeah.
In my eyes. All right. It is that time of the week, and we've got a lot of them.
Oh, good.
It is.
This is comeback moment.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you, Scotty.
Yes. All right. First scumbag up. Quick and short, right? No, it's probably winded.
No, it's a long one.
All right. You got
Navy Senior Chief Gregory L. Hightower.
Hightower.
A Houston-based Navy Senior Chief recruiter fatally shot his wife and injured a Naval Criminal Investigation Service agent. Oh, not Gibbs. Before being killed by sheriff's deputies a few hours later, according to the Navy and local law enforcement. NCIS agents were interviewing the wife, Takara Hightower, 34, at the Atascocita, Texas residence for a domestic violence investigation, according to NCIS and the Harris County Sheriff's Office. While the precise sequence of events remains unclear, Hightower's husband, Navy Career Counselor Senior Chief Gregory L. Hightower, 37, arrived and opened fire, fatally shooting the woman and injuring one of the NCIS agents.
Jesus. Balls on this guy.
Takara Hightower was holding an infant during the incident, according to Sheriff's Office spokesperson Senior Deputy Thomas Gilliland.
Yeah.
A second NCIS agent returned fire at Hightower, who managed to flee. About 3 hours later, Hightower was shot and killed after he fired at deputies who approached him near a family member's apartment on the northwest side of Houston, according to Gilliland.
Jesus.
An infant and toddler at the Hightower home have been released to family members, he said. Gilliland said deputies had previously responded to the residents as part of domestic prevention call for service for both parties claiming injury to each other. While he did not provide the date for that call, Gilliland said that a prosecutor declined charges against either party, probably mutual combatants.
Yeah.
The injured NCIS agent was taken to the hospital and is stable, NCIS's Houston said. He declined to provide further details on the incident, but said that NCIS will provide additional information as more details are confirmed.
On the next episode.
Yeah. Dude,
there
that's
is no
crazy.
next episode.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy, though. Oh, he's dead. Fucking piece of shit. Dude, all right. Kills his wife. All right, I get the killing the wife thing. I mean, I don't get it, but I get it.
Yeah.
You know, but he should carry the kid, too. What the
Yeah.
fuck? And then shoot, there was a video clip of, it's kind of shitty because you could only see it from a distance. I can't pull it up because I'm not Jones and I fucked up already.
Right.
But you could see him coming around, get out of his car, and it's from 5 houses down, basically. You can see the thing. It's just fucking nuts, dude. I don't know. Whatever. Scumbag, you dead. Anyway.
Yeah.
Scumbag number 2. I don't know. We don't often have guests read it, but since there is some kind of connection here, I don't know if you want to do it.
Yeah, I'll read it.
Yeah?
All right.
All right. Scumbag number 2. Go for it.
Scumbag number 2, Army Reservist G. Chao-Kun.
Oh.
4 years after he was arrested on suspicion of spying, a former U.S. Army reservist has been convicted by the federal jury for acting as an illegal agent on behalf of the People's Republic of China.
Mm-hmm.
G, 31, was found guilty at the conclusion of a 2-week trial that followed a joint investigation by the FBI and the Army's 902nd Military Intelligence Group, the Justice Department announced. Once a graduate student in Chicago, G enlisted in the U.S. Army Reserves in 2016 under the parameters of the Military Accessions Vital to the National Interest Program, which extends enlistment opportunities to select legal aliens who possess skills pertinent to national security.
Wop, wop, wop.
G reportedly stated he had no affiliation with any foreign government during the enlistment process, and in at least one subsequent discussion with a U.S. service member.
I swear he was my uncle. China forever.
While serving the Army, G acted as an agent reporting directly to high-ranking intelligence officers in China's Ministry of State Security, according to evidence presented in the case and the criminal complaint.
All right. Well, okay, keep going with it. But is this the guy though?
Yeah, this is
All
the
right.
guy,
This
yeah.
is one of them. All right. Okay. Go on.
Being an E4 sucks. I mop the same drill hop 10 times.
No intel.
No intel.
G was tasked with providing his superiors with biographical information on prospective recruits who could be of value to China's Jiangsu
Yeah,
Province
yeah,
Ministry
yeah.
of State Security, a regional foreign intelligence arm of the National Intelligence Apparatus headquartered in Nanjing, China.
I don't know, dude. This makes me think more of my fucking LT every time.
The individuals included Chinese nationals who were working as engineers and scientists in the United States, some of whom were U.S. defense contractors.
Of course.
The release said this tasking was part of an effort by the Jiangsu Provincial Department to obtain access to advanced aerospace and satellite technologies being developed by companies within the U.S.
Okay, so this is their. You go to the reserves. Let's get him in the reserves. Like, was that the plan? That's gonna get him somewhere.
Right.
As like,
And it's like, out of all that stuff, let's say it's like a transportation company or something, right?
It's like,
These Humvees suck.
I mean, if you want me to get technical, it was a feeler unit on the transportation.
so all right, keep going with it. Keep going with it. And
The
then-
individuals included Chinese. Oh, did I read that one already?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think I did. All right. G's immediate superior, meanwhile, was Zhu Yangjun, a deputy division director with China's Ministry of State Security, who was convicted in Ohio last year on charges of conspiracy and attempting to commit economic espionage and theft of trade secrets.
Was that any kind of connection? You knew that person?
No, I didn't
Okay,
know that
I don't know
dude.
if that. Or
No.
okay, all right. Okay.
After deliberations, the federal jury found G guilty on one count of conspiracy to act as an agent of a foreign government without notifying the Attorney General, one count as acting as an agent of the People's Republic of China without first notifying the Attorney General, and one count of making a material false statement to the Army. Charges of acting as an illegal agent carry a maximum prison sentence of 10 years. Conspiracy and false statement offenses are punishable by a sentence of up to 5 years. A sentencing date has not yet been set.
Okay, so
Lot to unpack there.
right there. All right, reserves.
So,
All right, let's get more into what you know.
well, here. I mean, let me just point this out, right? For the last 5 years, I think we've been talking about the great power competition, and our next big fight as an army is going to be Russia, China, or Iran, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's been publicly stated. Nothing secret there.
Right.
And yet, we're allowing a Chinese national to get preferential treatment in an enlistment program, right? To get them citizenship, right? Gets higher education, probably a master's degree or some shit like that, right? You know, like,
Or is this all part of it? Get him in there, find out, maybe start getting a network going. Yeah, I'm thinking the outside, especially
Sure.
maybe that's the whole plan. Like, yeah, get the guy and let him in there.
yeah,
and then maybe
set
you'll
up a little
like
honeypot trap.
Exactly, then
without
maybe-
the honey or the pot.
right.
but-
You get a moron like this, and you get in there, and then like maybe just maybe they're trying to find more fuckers, and this is what there was, and like oh yeah, it makes the news, and you go
Yeah.
oh whatever. I don't know. I'm just thinking. I don't know.
But a fueler company.
Right. Well, that's actually that makes more sense because like
I thought JP8
let's put
was
this
a code
idiot that we
name.
know that's going to do it. Put him in something where he can't get any intel at all on anything important.
I mean, he knows the
Needs of the
inside and
army.
out of a Humvee though, because all of these like these personnel that were in the
Humvees.
process,
But we don't even.
Right.
we're
they
not
were
even-
pretty much just tasked like, oh hey, go PMCS these vehicles because we got nothing else for you to do.
I would love it. Like his first day at the unit, they do like typical new guy shenanigans. It's like, hey, pull the fucking lock chain on the Humvee to try to start the vehicle, and Shit like that.
Look,
you know.
I mean,
I need you to collect some exhaust samples.
but you got any more on this guy? You know a little bit about this one, or this is one of the guys you know, right? That got busted. Yeah, like through friends of whatever it is. Your whole connection with it.
Not really. I kind of stayed away from.
Okay.
it for the
I
most part,
just didn't know if you had more.
He doesn't want to
greasy-
knock on his door all of a sudden. and
No,
be
I
like,
just know if you
"What?"
knew like about him a little bit, or like if this guy was like a whatever. Okay. Anyway, scumbag, funny as shit. Love
That's
that. We still got
crazy.
one more scumbag. This one's fresh off the presses. It's made national coverage on this one.
Which one is this?
You ready for
Army
it?
Major Jamie Lee Henry,
Yeah, go take a look. Hit it
Alright.
up.
Baltimore anesthesiologist.
And
Jesus Christ,
anesthesiologist.
Right.
How do I know that one?
that thing.
That thing.
And her Army Major husband were federally indicted Wednesday for a conspiracy to disclose health information to the Russian government to assist its war in Ukraine, its special military operation in Ukraine.
Yeah.
Dr. Anna Gabrielian and Jamie Lee Henry, who's also a medical officer or doctor, face 8 counts, including for conspiracy and wrongful disclosure of individually identifiable health information. You know, it's a good thing we do that annual training.
Mm-hmm.
The indictment was filed in U.S. District Court. Records at the Maryland Board of Physicians show Gabrielian and Henry's primary practices are at Johns Hopkins Hospital, though the indictment says Henry is a staff internist stationed at Fort Bragg, an Army installation in North Carolina. The indictment says the couple sought to pass federally protected medical information to an undercover FBI agent that Gabrielian believed worked at the Russian embassy about patients at Fort Bragg and others, as well as provide information about U.S. medical capabilities and war conditions. Yes.
This is the one that was openly first trans officer. That's why I got his little photo
Ah.
up there. Hey.
Well, but then that begs the question, right? I mean, we had what? Not Snow, the other one.
No.
Who's the other one that
Stitched?
Chelsea?
Oh, yeah, Manning.
Manning,
Yeah.
right? That's another one that
First officer that was openly trans.
right. But I'm not saying right.
But still
it's
with
like,
his wife, though. Interesting fun
It's-
stuff going on there, right?
without casting judgment on any group or sexually identifiable or non-identifiable, they, them, whatever.
We have to put that out there. I
Right.
already know our older audience is going, what the
No,
fuck?
but it's like I'm totally not casting judgment, but there has been a weird trend against some of these, like espionage cases and what have you. That, and even when you read about like the ones in the FBI, Bill Hansen or whatever the hell his name was, and all that stuff, they had this kind of thing about cross-dressing or, leading ulterior forms of, life.
Having a good time.
Right. Now, again, I'm not judging, right? People do
King shaming? Yeah, no.
Yeah, I'm not king shaming or any of that stuff, right? But it's just been a weird trend that I've kind of picked up on. So if that's the case, I don't know if there's any correlation or not. All I'm saying is
J. Edgar
I've just
Hoover.
noticed. Absolutely,
There you
man. That was
go.
a weird kinky bastard.
All
All right.
Yeah.
Before I wind up in S1's office. Okay.
We finished it up, or were we
Indictment said Gabrielian told the agent she was motivated by patriotism towards Russia. Well, why don't you go to Ukraine then?
Yeah.
To provide any assistance she could to Russia, even if it meant being fired or going to jail.
Oh, Jesus, dude. These fucking people.
Yeah.
Patriot towards Russia. Then go there. Go fucking live
Absolutely.
there. Be there.
Right.
See how it really is.
Yeah.
Why you're in America.
Yeah.
Love how our half-ass freedom, which it's
That's
still
right.
half-ass,
No, they're
but
just
it's so
trying
much
to-
better than over there.
Yeah. Go fight for women's rights in
There's
Afghanistan.
fucking people that probably have never been
Right.
over in other countries. Like, dude, I've been to Europe. Just even Europe is like, I love it. There's countries, the rules, I'm like, ugh. And that's their freedom, which is still better than fucking Russia. But, dude, the way we have it here is so fucking amazing. Ugh, these people. Anyway, all right.
They're just trying to do their part from afar. That way they can say,
Yeah.
hey,
Ooh.
they
For
can put
the
it in
wrong
their
reasons.
eval. They put it
Yeah.
in their eval.
Yeah.
Oh, I helped another
Oh.
country.
For the wrong reasons.
Totally.
It was a joint exercise.
Is it?
Multinational partners. Oh. Oh.
Hold on before we get
Oh. Uh-oh. We got one.
Making a drink. I know it. All right, here we go. It's been a while. I hate them, but here we go. It's time to catch a service member.
What's in the bag?
Here
Service
we go.
member.
Here we go.
All right. Air Force Lieutenant Colonel
Ooh, high up.
Kevin J. DeFalco.
Look at that sweet
Jesus,
hairline.
You look like a fucking diddler. Ugh. An Air Force squadron commander in Nevada was arrested for allegedly sexually abusing a child. Guilty. Piece of shit.
Your gavel's right there.
Oh,
I brought it over for you.
it's been moved.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even need to read the story. Guilty. Lieutenant Colonel Kevin J. DeFalco, commander of the 57th Operations Support Squadron at Nellis Air Force Base, before his arrest was arrested on 7 charges of lewdness in the presence of a child and 1 charge of child abuse or neglect, court records show. On the day of the arrest, the alleged victim told her school counselor that DeFalco had sporadically sexually assaulted her from December 2021 to June 2022, according to the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department report. The counselor quickly notified the police. The alleged victim told police that the day DeFalco had long groomed her for the abuse, including by sending her inappropriate Snapchat messages and mailing her lingerie, once with a note that said he wanted to see her wearing it, according to the police report. She also told police that DeFalco had a distinctive tattoo in his groin region. Police verified the existence of said tattoo, according to the police report.
Pause for our guests here to understand some of this. When we do these, it's just to call them out because they're fucking scumbags.
100%.
And somebody needs to
Absolutely.
fucking
We want to clean up the ranks.
Yeah.
So
show it up.
it's our way of
blast
doing
them. All right, go on. Yeah, fuck yeah. Fuck the whole point. That's actually the whole point. Go on.
it. Las Vegas news station 8 News Now broke the news of the charges. Probable cause existed for the defendant's arrest, court records state. Therefore, the defendant's biological specimen shall be submitted to the appropriate forensic laboratory for genetic marker analysis. DeFalco posted bail the day after his arrest, according to court records.
Bullshit.
The 57th Wing Commander, Brigadier General Richard Goodman, relieved the 57th Operations Support Squadron Commander September 8th due to the allegations of personal misconduct.
Good, very good, very good.
Lucretia Cunningham, a spokesperson for Nellis Air Force Base, wrote in a statement to Air Force Times. Lieutenant Colonel Kevin DeFalco was arrested at his residence September 8th and is under investigation by the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department in coordination with the Air Force.
What a fucking dirty old man.
And I hope that as loose as the Air Force has been about standards, allowing hands in the pockets, grooming standards, et cetera, they fucking go extra hard on this piece of shit because that doesn't belong in our ranks. I don't
Fuck
care
yeah.
what branch
It doesn't belong
is.
anywhere. Not only our ranks, but anywhere. It's disgusting. It's fucking horrible. And how what a creepy looking fuck, dude. He just looks like a
Guilty.
child. Doesn't he just look like a child molester? Like it's a giveaway. It's
He's just missing a mustache.
when the little girl talks about like the tattoo in his groin region. Yeah. How the fuck else did you see
Right.
that? Yeah, guilty as fuck. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I don't need to go to court. That one. That's
Watch, it was just one
You
of
didn't
those
see him
little
pee.
Playboy tanning bunnies. What the fuck, guy?
all right.
Is that
fucking-
Kermit the Frog?
Hi, all right. It is. My stomach's hurting a little bit from that one. All right. It is that time of the week. It is time for our military movie review. All right. And our guest picked I thought, a pretty great fucking movie, and I'll give him my things for it, and I'll say why it's great on my side. But here we go. 2013's Lone Survivor.
I'm surprised we didn't do this one.
Here we go. Marcus Luttrell and his team set out on a mission to capture or kill notorious Taliban leader Ahmad Shah in late June 2005. Marcus and his team are left to fight for their lives in one of the most valiant efforts of modern warfare. I always thought so. I think it was pretty awesome that this movie came out because it's been like 10 years before, actually more than 10 years since a modern warfare movie came out, and that's what I liked about it. Here we go.
Yeah.
Starring Mark Wahlberg as Marcus Luttrell. Crazy that they can't. I mean, Wahlberg's an awesome actor, but the difference in those men is crazy. And Luttrell was actually in the movie too.
Right.
Like, he's so much bigger than him. He's so tiny. And don't get me wrong, Wahlberg's a beast, right?
Yeah.
He's kind of like, when I'm saying, like you're a beast, like that's
Oh no,
the
no,
height,
no,
and, height and like
he's.
yeah, I know, but like Luttrell's like 8 feet tall.
Yeah.
All right.
I still like Marcus Luttrell in range.
Oh yeah,
range
it was.
15.
Yeah, that's right. Taylor Kitsch as Michael Murphy, the good old Lieutenant Murph there.
Yeah.
How do you say them?
Emil?
Emil
It looks like Emily.
as Danny Dietz. Ben Foster as Matt Axelson. Yusuf Azami, easier name than his characters, Shaw. Ali Suleiman as Gulab. That guy was a real piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorites, Eric Bana as Commander Eric Christensen. What a
Always
badass.
a class act.
Love him. Alexander Ludwig as Shane Patton. Poor fucking kid. All right, let's get in here. We don't have Sami with his notes, and even if Sami showed up, he probably wouldn't have notes anyway.
No.
He's have a rough week. All right. Once again, I like your movie choice. We haven't done it before. Obviously, we give you a list of everything we've done. you probably like some other ones better. You want it,
I
whatever.
was shocked this wasn't on the list, honestly.
Somebody hasn't picked it yet. We've actually talked to a few people that haven't picked it. I've been wanting to do this one for a while. The reason I like this movie a lot is because since Black Hawk Down, there really hasn't been anything awesome in modern warfare movies. And that even Black Hawk Down, it wasn't even modern. It was about the previous war, or not even a war. It was right before, like after Desert Storm, it was Somalia and all that shit. So it really wasn't something that was going on in Iraq or Afghanistan that we needed at the time when it was coming out, because there was nothing there yet. In 2013, we still haven't had shit yet. There's a couple of shows out, a little bit of this and that, some small stuff, nothing big.
That started the OEF, OIF kind of trend of movies again.
And it literally, this is one that opened it up, and that's what I loved about it, because it was you got a true story, which is nuts, right? Yeah, there's some Hollywood shit in this. We get it. Right. I actually still have yet to read the book.
You read?
Yeah, barely. But
it's an audiobook.
I'm guessing it's the same goddamn thing because it went off of it. I, from what I'm guessing, I mean,
there
Luttrell
has
had
to be changes.
I'm sure there's a little bit, but Luttrell wrote the book or was part of writing the book, and then he was very part of the movie. So
right,
who knows? So obviously some Hollywood shit there. But I thought the movie was fucking fantastic because it was. I remember this specifically. Our unit just got back from Afghanistan at the time, and this movie just was fucking releasing in theaters as soon as everyone's coming back. And I remember we got an early screener of it, and I used to have a theater in my last house, which was awesome. So we got like all the everyone came back in, like everyone from deployment. We would sit down and watch it. It was fucking awesome. And for us older guys, it was like, holy shit, this is kind of like Black Hawk Down revisited, a little bit more modern warfare type stuff. Yeah, dude, it was very Hollywood in a lot of aspects when it came to some of the scenes. Not all the scenes, but a lot of like the crazy scenes. For instance, mine is the one they're falling off that rock.
Oh, when the explosion behind them and they just jump off in slow-mo.
Yeah, slow-mo. And then I'm wondering, like, dude, the way these guys fell down this fucking mountain. Like, how the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, I know, like, yeah, you could fall down a mountain and survive. But the way Hollywood made it look, these guys should all be paralyzed.
Right.
Like,
they just got up, like, they just, like, brushed off their shoulders.
I mean, I get their Navy SEALs are badasses. I understand that. But holy fuck.
No, because you see, like, heads banging against trees.
Yep. Rocks.
Just, like, rocks. And
like, death. Like, instant death. Like, so that's the problem. Is like, they made the Hollywood part of it a little, and I'm sure
none of them wearing their ACH. So.
Marcus was like saying how this is going on. Like, we hit this and that. Probably felt like this, but like, if your body hits that speed, you're fucking dead.
You're snapping in too.
I'm sorry. Like, there's no. I mean, but regardless, I loved a lot of this movie. There's some parts like, did that really happen? And then once again, and I'm not trying to knock Marcus Luttrell. I have a thing of calling people out on shit. The movie is Lone Survivor, right? You're the lone guy. Is that how it happens? Like that? Is that how? That's what we're taking it because you're who you are in the military. I'm in the military. I know I'm not that cool in the military like you are, but let me tell you about military. Is everyone that honest in the military? Like, especially about telling a war story?
Right.
I don't know. I guess I'm not talking shit. Who knows? It might have happened. Probably did.
Classified, man. Classified.
Some shit was Majewski over there. All right, Petey, your thoughts a little bit though before we get some ratings in.
Yeah, it was a good movie. I mean, yeah. Remember, things are perceptions, right? So it's what he perceived at the time and how he documented it and what have you. And none of us were there, so to second guess is a bit of a stretch. But who knows? I mean, and what's the difference between the book and the movie? Because we all know that Hollywood will Hollywood. Right, and make it more sexier than it really was, or whatever, make it more risky or what have you. So, I mean, I don't know. I didn't read the book, so I can't compare.
And if you haven't seen the movie, though, it's pretty good. Action-packed. It's basically about 4 SEALs going in, get dropped in to do some recon, get caught up in some shit. I don't want to tell all that part away. A lot of crazy, sad shit happens. A lot of people die. It's fucking rough. Like, a lot. I mean, they kill a lot, too, which is awesome. I was actually doing, again, I always love that count, like, how many they get off in the first, like, 20 minutes. I think I was at 27 in the first minute and a half of them getting in contact.
Yeah.
I'm like, ding, 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 because I'm, like, clicking it. I'm like, yep, that's another. And that's actually the fucking hottest shit of it in the middle, just because it's nice zoomed-in shots of, like, a headshot. And the sound effect they did a good job with the suppressed shots, even the loud. Oh, it sounded not. I mean, they did the Hollywood aspect actually did a really good job with that part. And getting things right on military-wise, I think it did great. And that's why I probably should get into ratings and then
I'm doing like a quick view of like Wikipedia, right?
Yeah.
And apparently Marcus Luttrell's original AAR after incident placed the number of attackers somewhere between 25 and 30, or 20 and 35, whereas in the book he places well over 200.
That's what I'm trying to get at. Because they kill like 27 right off in the bat in the beginning of the movie.
Lieutenant Murphy's Medal of Honor awards nomination puts the number of forces as above 50.
See,
so the official citation though reads between 30 and 40 enemy fighters.
And honestly,
so there's a little bit of discrepancy. Not that it takes away from the shit factor that they were in regardless.
But then again, how do you can you actually figure all that out while you're in the shit where you're making contact? You're not over there going counting every single I maybe remember taking out maybe X amount this here, but you have no fucking clue.
It's not like they have a ref in the middle of the fight. Oh, you're one.
Yep. Ding, ding, ding. There's another one.
Confirmed kill.
Confirmed kill. There you go.
Go back to the starting point.
Yeah.
Respawn.
Yeah. No, I mean it's crazy. I don't like giving him shit about because he's gotten a lot of crap about this too. If what was true, what was not. Obviously, the mission happened. Many guys fucking died, and he made it out alive. Like we know that much. And what happened in between, I don't know. There is parts of it that I wish, the one part it says in the movie, like, I voted wrong. Yeah, you fucking did. Because if that scene actually happened the way, like, if everything happened the way it was like releasing those fucking dudes and that caused it all, you should have fucking just capped them, man. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Better than being on,
Or just leave them tied up to a tree.
Fucking dig a hole. Yeah, actually, leave them in a tree, give more hours. I personally would have just domed him. Yeah. It felt bad. I would let the little one alive. The two olders, I just would have. Actually, it was
the teen kid.
The teen kid that's the only one I actually would have capped. The old guy and the kid I would have left.
He's
alive.
the one with he had the diabolical face.
Yeah,
you knew
the
like
angry Haji face.
Yeah.
Twin
Dan Bilzerian was.
Yes, he was in it.
Yeah,
Bilzerian was in it. He was in the initial briefing, I believe, that when they were doing the mission. You see him for a second there. He might have been in some other scene.
He was in the chopper.
He was in the chopper too, I think, for a second.
That's when I first noticed him. I'm like,
oh, that's because I remember in the briefing he had a line where he talked about stuff.
Oh,
yeah. I mean, the chopper scene that's fucking sad.
When I looked at the cast, I'm like, why is Dan Bilzerian in it? Just because of his appearance. And then I did a little digging, and it said that it said that he went to Navy school or Navy SEAL school,
he went to
but
Buzz. He failed out.
He failed out, yeah.
But he was in the Navy though, so
he also sued the movie Lone Survivor.
Get out.
Because apparently he invested $1 million in the film in exchange for at least 8 minutes of screen time and 80 words of dialogue, but the role was reduced to less than 1 minute and just one line.
Yeah, he had the one line in the briefing. That's it. Yeah.
But it's like funny that he actually went and sued for $1 million.
Well, did he win? Probably. I don't know.
They probably
settled. They settled.
Yeah.
They settled. Yeah. Fucking Bilzerian, man. Fuck, you're good.
All right,
we'll
release
good,
an extended cut with additional scene from you.
We'll show you banging fucking horrors, all that shit, having a good time, throwing off your roof, having a blast. I'm just jealous of his lifestyle. Whatever. Yeah. It's pretty fun. All right, so all right, we'll get into some ratings here. I gave it 4, and I gave it 4 for a good reason here. Like I would have given it higher if some of the Hollywood shit wasn't there. Like I said, this is a movie my generation specifically, my war generation, my military generation, we haven't had a good movie at that time for forever, and modern shit. And like I said, Black Hawk Down was the first one, which wasn't even something we're involved in, or I was a child when that was going on. So to see this as the first real blockbuster of like Afghanistan or Iraq, something that was going on over there.
Which we're coming up on the anniversary of Gothic Serpent.
Yeah.
October 2 and 3.
And so it meant something when I saw it, especially with the unit just coming back from Afghanistan too, with all the crazy shit. Learning a little bit more about what was going on, because I've always heard about this mission, but never got in depths of it. Like I said, didn't read the book. So yeah, it hit me in a way, and it hit some of my friends at the same time. So that's why I gave it a 4. Would even higher. The Hollywood shit really kind of like fucked it up a little bit, like the stupid scenes.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, like the falling off the cliff shit. Like everything else was, I think, was solid. Military wise, I think it was. I mean, you're talking SF, SEAL shit. So like they get to. Grouping standards are cool. Military crap. The equipment seemed fucking fine. Everything, the way they were talking to each other, it seemed it seemed legit.
Especially since he had a direct hand in advising the production.
Yeah, and that's it. I mean, there was a couple things that were a little off. I think how helicopters were landing, but on the actual on Bagram and all. I'm like, that's not how they fucking come in. And why when they're cruising really low, one scene like what they show in the beginning and in the end, with Wahlberg in it. They wouldn't be that low. Like you're not in a combat zone, fucking 20 feet cruising across the country,
as
man.
high as possible.
But yeah, you're
gonna
be all the way up there going, back down, because that's how shit happens. All right, so that's my rating of 4. All right, let's do PD next.
Yeah, 4. Pretty
Mark-
much same reason. So I mean, no need to.
PD
beat that dead
loves.
horse.
This is the hard part for PD doing movie stuff because he's always just like, "Yep, liked it. Let's move on."
Yep, it
That's
was
what
good.
Sam's normally here for, and he fills in there. Pete's 4, remarks complete. All right, and our guest, Gil, 3.5. Ooh,
Okay.
3.5.
Little weak.
So, this movie came out in 2013. I enlisted in 2014. So, like the movie per se, it does hold a special place to me because I was in basic training at that time. So, it's the first piece of military I've ever been a part of, or anything, or even knowledge.
So it's got something
right,
connection.
and it was just more so of because I was there. I went to basic between September and December.
Okay.
So November is Veterans Day.
Yeah.
November 11th. So we had the day off. So our drill sergeants put on Lone Survivor. So that was the first time I've ever seen it. And at that point, it's like you're halfway through basic, more than halfway through basic, and
you're feeling
you
the whole
feel
the
pumped.
Hooah,
You build all these
yeah.
you build all this camaraderie.
Yeah.
You're looking to your left, you're looking to your right, and you're like you're just full of all of it. Like I go to war with these
yeah.
motherfuckers, you know. And so it's like that was the only time I ever saw the movie. I wasn't able to watch it afterwards just because it's just like you start thinking back. It's like okay, what if I did go to war with these guys and this happens? Like it hits you, like
Fuck.
right? And it's like you just went through basic, and it's like
It's sad.
you're just full of it, and
Which makes you think back to the Russians. Only 2 weeks of basic training, and get out there, Yuri.
I know. I get
Right.
that feeling, man. I lost a lot of friends out of basic after because the wars were kicking up.
Yeah.
A lot of guys died, and that was rough. But I mean, that is no, I get it. That's a nice connection, though. That is
right. And it's like these type of movies where it's like people lose their lives. You see the camaraderie in the movies, and then you reflect back, and then you think like, damn, I have that type of camaraderie with certain people. It's like you can't really rewatch the movie because then you just get in your feels. Like you start thinking about those people. So it's like almost like the same thing with like Black Hawk Down in the last scene where he's like getting.
But you give it 3.5
drag.
though. You're like,
I
fuck
still
this.
give
But fuck this movie, even though it means so much to me when we're on something. So
It's like I told you, like if you multiply it by 2, it's technically a 7 out of 10.
Okay,
it's a better rating.
It is good. It is better rating. Yeah,
Which
I mean,
the 7 out of 10 matches the Rotten Tomatoes rating of 70 to 75%.
that's pretty good. All right.
Mhm.
Well, all
Yeah,
right.
you see.
See,
Thank you
Quick
for
maths.
thank you for picking the movie. I thought it was fucking great compared to our last episodes.
yeah, it's
Jesus
not like
Christ.
it's my go-to.
No.
You know what I mean? It's definitely not my go-to, but if it's on,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, that's the thing too. It isn't a go-to, but I will catch it every now and then. It's been
If I'm
actually a
flipping
while.
through the channels and not come across it, I'll definitely
Like
I'll-
my go-tos are 13 Hours and American
Mhm.
Sniper actually more than everything else. And 13
Okay.
Hours more than everything. I like 13 Hours, dude. Just
Well,
something about.
Tammy Sue loves it too.
Well, I know.
so-
Wait, that's the thing. My wife loves it, and it's also. I think she's got the
Oh, you
hots
didn't know.
for John
Krasinski.
whatever. But anyway, I love him too. I got the hots from him. No, I thought it was a great movie. But anyway, back to this one. But yes, great fucking flick. You gave. All right. I see your thing. All right. I thought it would be a little higher. All right. Good enough. Let's do.
can't just be giving every movie a 4 and a 5.
Oh
It's
no,
not
we've
true.
definitely picked a couple shitty
It's
ones just to
true.
have
All
a
right,
few
we're
shitty
about to get in the
ones.
smoke pit. Does anybody have to take a piss before we go in there? Because
Probably just you.
Is it just me? Do we have to pause the show for a minute to take a quiz?
Go
Or
ahead,
you guys want
pause
to
it.
we want to start it off and I'll
Pause it and we'll come back.
go. All right, so let's
Since
do
we don't
this.
have so many contributors on today's episode.
Yeah, all right. So let's start off with a screenshot of the smoke pit. I'm going to take a piss and we'll be right back after these messages. There's no messages. That's I don't know why I said that.
Go pee.
All right, back from the piss break in the smoke pit. Here we go.
Feel
son.
relieved?
Yes, very good. My chair broke a little bit. I can't put my feet down. It's weird.
That's what you got to ask Santa for. New
Yeah, I know.
seats, new chairs.
I got you guys nice ones. I got the bum ass one over here. All right, we got some Q&A for our guest, Gil Lopez. It's so weird to call you Gil. It's so fucking weird.
Call me
dude.
whatever you want.
I
I've
don't
been
know.
called worse.
Sargento.
Yeah.
See. All right. Let's get a little Q&A with you, and then see what happens here.
All right.
All right. Question number 1 I ask for everybody that comes on the show that's military. When and why did you join the Army?
So I never even thought about joining the Army. That was like the last thing I ever thought I was going to do. It wasn't until my best friend came back from basic and AIT. I was finishing up my first year of college. Wasn't doing so great. Wasn't doing the best. Mainly because I was working part-time hours or full-time hours, working part-time, getting part-time pay, shit pay. I was working at Menards and deployment department. It became pretty knowledgeable, but funny enough, when I went to the recruiter and they ask you, well, so what jobs are you like, what would you like to do?
Plumber.
I'm like, well, I know about plumbing. Oh yeah, we could find something for you. but yeah, so
Normally, they don't have guys walking in saying they want one of those shit engineering jobs, right?
Well, funny enough, that's one of the only ones that had a bonus too.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh,
You
more
wonder
money.
why.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I needed a break, and I don't know. I don't want to just start working because my dad always says, don't just work for money, because then you're just gonna be driven by the money, and then you're not gonna go back to school, get an education, and then
Become a whore to the job.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So I just wanted a quick break. I didn't want to be unproductive about it. My best friend was just coming from the Army, so I started talking to him about it. He took me to his unit, so I spoke to his retention. He recommended me a recruiting station out in Joliet. So then I just started asking questions, went to the recruiter, started talking, and then eventually I just got home one day, and we were all having dinner, and I just broke it to my parents. So I'm joining the Army.
That's happening.
Yeah, so that's gonna happen.
This is
Mom cried.
Yeah, everyone.
It was a rough couple months because like my parents, mainly my mom, all she knew about the military was just what she saw on the news.
Mhm.
Hell yeah.
So
luckily it was like, it's about 2014, right? Ish. 13,
yeah,
14?
it was 2014.
So it's like at least things were
Simmering down.
simmering a little
Yeah.
bit. It wasn't like the beginning of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Good
Right.
God, because I'm not trying to steal from your
No,
gusto
yeah.
on this, but like when me and Petey were looking into shit, especially when I go in and we was ROTC at the time, shit just started. Everyone's like, "You're gonna fucking die,"
Right.
like he was like guaranteed, like y'all gonna die. But all right, go on though.
Yeah. So it was a rough couple months. It took them a while to accept it, but
Yeah.
it was just more so they thought it was more my best friend was influencing me to join the military. They didn't really think it was my decision because it was
Right.
just so a rational decision that just came out of nowhere.
Mhm.
Do
to
you
them.
still go back to that friend and look and be like, dude,
Oh, yeah,
you
we're
fucking
still-
lied to me, dude.
We're still best friends to this day. He's
Buddy fucker.
Right.
Yeah, he joined the AGR program before I did, so I
Okay.
kind of been like
Oh,
following him along, kind of
Yeah.
like doing things that he's been doing still.
Yeah, you
and,
make the mistakes and I'll benefit
Right,
from
right,
it.
yeah. You do it first. You make the mistakes, and then I'll do what you didn't do,
Right.
and then
Right.
excel, and yeah. So eventually, he went AGR, I went AGR, and
Well,
My-
we'll get into that. We
Okay.
actually get some questions. So like that's why.
so that's why. So initially,
why-
I just needed a break
and
from
when.
life. I didn't want to be unproductive.
Wasn't
so,
patriotism, wasn't education, wasn't anything.
So I mean,
but-
if you really want to get technical about it or
Sure.
emotional about it, another reason was my mom was fixing her paperwork because she's an illegal immigrant at that time.
Mhm.
So she was working to get her paperwork.
Martha's
and-
Vineyard. Awesome.
Jesus
Oh
Christ.
come on! What? Oh, we can't joke anymore.
Yeah. So
All right, sorry.
no, you're good. She was it was at a standstill because it got to the point where she needed to go back to Mexico for a pardon.
Okay.
Oh,
So-
yeah, when they were saying everybody had to come back
Mhm.
before they can.
Right. So you have to go back to
Wow.
Mexico, ask for do a pardon, and they tell you it could take a week, a month, or years. You just don't
Oh,
know.
wow.
Okay,
that
hold
would have
on,
completely
hold
split
on.
the family
Explain
up.
this to me really quickly. What the hell is that? How does that work?
So
What-
basically, it's like, okay, I was illegally here in the U.S. for so many years. So in order for you to let me live here, I have to go back to my own country and then finish the paperwork there, and then wait for you to allow me to come back in legally.
Wow.
Okay, so it. All right, so
It's not.
It's a legal process.
It's a
though.
legal process.
Okay,
Yeah, you're
okay,
not getting
okay.
deported, so it's not. It doesn't count against you.
Okay.
It's more of like, okay, you're willing to go by yourself back to your country instead of us sending you back
Yeah,
over there.
Okay, cool.
So then we'll allow you to come back once you finish the process. But
Alright.
it was, they tell her like it'll take a week, month, years. We don't know how long
Could
it
be
takes.
forever.
And at that time, my sister was pregnant also. So
Oh, okay.
she was just gonna have my nephew, and so my mom's kind of just like, well, I'm already in the States.
Right.
My sister's or my daughter's gonna need someone to help her take care
Absolutely.
of her
It'd
kids.
just be a
so
mom, right? Was it first grandbaby?
yeah, it was the first one.
So it's like all these milestones.
Right. So I was like, you know what? I'll just pause it. And then once I started the process to join, they talked to the lawyers and they brought it up that I was joining the Army. And they said like, oh, well, that's great. Just bring us his orders, and then that'll allow you to stay here and finish the process.
Oh, good for you.
So she was
Awesome.
able to get her residency.
Yeah.
So sorry, I never heard of this before, like of the whole having to go back forth
Mhm.
thing. I just thought like you just.
Because you're
Stay.
privileged, you fuck.
Okay, yeah, I get that part, but I mean, my family came from another country. Obviously, a long time ago.
Right.
It's different and whatever.
No.
You kind of had to illegally. You can't really swim across an
Right.
Atlantic, right?
But it's kind of like even the last episode, right? We're talking about like the human aspect
Yes.
of this crisis that we have with the migration, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, folks are fleeing wherever they're fleeing from under the circumstances just to try to provide a better life.
Yeah.
Right. And through that, they're risking so much stuff and whatever else. And it's become so politicized that we also forget that we're dealing with people here.
Yeah.
Whether it's the kids, whether it's in like your case, your parent here, and it's like the whole process is fucked. It's going to split up a family, right? Just to try to have some glimmer of hope to make this last forever, right?
And like I said, I don't know this. I never heard this before, like the whole going back forth thing.
Yeah.
So that's very interesting. Like,
because they had that with like DACA and all that stuff too, right? There was like a contingent of DACA where it's like, hey, if you were here, like, I vaguely remember that.
For studies, you could ask for like a permanent residency, but it's only until the duration of you finish school, and then after that you could either apply for residency or go back.
And obviously, like, you're not coming from like being like piece of shit people or whatever else, like, because I think you said, your dad was doing well in business or something like that.
Yeah, he has his own produce business.
So everybody's paying taxes. It's not like you guys are like selling dope and like raping people or whatever else. Like, let's focus that it's good people.
Oh
doing
no,
good
and
things,
I wasn't
right?
trying to get like weird about it. Like I just had honest questions about like because I've never heard this before.
I'm just making a bigger statement.
And I know we've gone like
it.
way off of where I want to go on this because I was just curious how that happened.
Yeah,
in your bio, I think I read a little bit about it, but I just kind of skimmed past a little bit. I'm like, oh, okay, I think I skimmed past a lot of shit. That's what I do in life. Just skate through.
Until we make it.
It was good to get some information on that. All right, next question here because we went off crazy.
Right.
Good info. Yeah. Wow, crazy. Simple one. Where'd you go to basic?
I went to Fort Jackson, South Carolina.
Yeah.
I was in.
Good enough for me. All right.
I go 239 Infantry Battalion. I still remember.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I also went to Jackson.
Relax in Jackson.
We'll get into that in a minute about Jackson. There's some more to talk about. So you went to, all right, basically Jackson. Cool. That was in.
He did not run off with a rifle and steal
I was
school
gonna
bus.
say, yeah. No, you don't get it more. Did you have a rifle though in basic at that time? Throughout the whole thing, or was it like when I was back in the day where you only got during shooting and then?
No. We had to carry it. We got it issued.
Shit changed so much after.
It was like after 2 weeks or 3 weeks of you being in there. I think it's after you pass the red phase. Like the initial phasing, and then once you get into like the next phase, and then you start your weapons qual, then you get issued your rifle, and then you got to carry that everywhere you go.
Yep.
So here's the thing. Here, you during basic, you got promoted in basic or advanced actually to E2 there. What made you stand out? Like, how the fuck did you get promoted? And did you like it? Let's go there.
It was. I don't know. I don't know.
Why'd you get promoted though? Like, what happened?
Because I
had a great FTX.
Yeah.
No, funny enough, I mean, first of all, I came in as a fuzzy, so I was just
E1.
It was just one of those like, just do what you're told and shut up. Yeah. Like,
but
as long as you
advanced in.
Yeah, so during the time I ended up being I got identified to be a squad leader.
Why is that though?
I just have great leadership skills.
I know. You are. That's what I'm trying to bring up.
It's either the lighting or he's blushing.
No, that's what I'm trying to bring up is like you being right off the bat, like seeing some of your stuff, like the fact you got advanced in basic, which I would fucking hate, by the way, because it's basic. But
it's the last day, right?
Yeah, they didn't do the pinning ceremony until like the actual graduation.
But it's still awesome that you did it. But that goes to show what kind of person you are, because I know you on a personal level, and working with you, like, good God, your work ethic is fucking insane, and you go above and beyond. So I want to bring that note up because I was very impressed to see that, because not a lot of people get. And so we got promoted based. That doesn't happen.
No.
Like, that really doesn't happen. All right. Back in my day, that sure shit didn't happen. Like, you were lucky.
No, they try to do that in every graduating class.
AIT.
But it's a small handful.
Yeah.
All right. I'm thinking back 20-something years ago. AIT was the soonest something would happen, But anyway, all right. Okay. All right. So that happened. Congrats to you on that one. That's fucking awesome.
Thank you.
That just shows what kind of character and person you are. You went the mechanic route. So what? Why? What? Let's get into that though.
So that goes back to basically when my best friend was coming. So back from AIT and basic. So he's a 91 Bravo as well. So when I went to the recruiter, he asked me, "So what do you want to do? Like, what do you want to do in the Army?" And I'm like, "Oh, well, I don't know."
It's typical, right?
And then at that time also, I'm like, my friend was a mechanic, so I'm like, my dad always told me choose a job that he could apply in the real world. So don't just go and be infantry, and then how are you gonna do that? And
fry the ready.
Yeah.
He's like, pick a job that you could apply it in the civilian world and make money with it.
Okay.
So diesel mechanics make a shitload of money in the civilian world, especially like if you're like roadside assistance for trucks. Because I've been on the road a lot and I see a shitload of trucks just on the side of the road, blown out tires or whatever the case may be. So I just said, well, and then also my dad had his produce business, so he had a whole bunch of diesel trucks. So I was like, okay, if I learn how to be a diesel mechanic, I could help him out with some expenses and help him fix up his trucks.
Fix the shit up.
Fix the shit up. So, and then, like I said, my friend was just coming back as 91 Bravo, so I was like, well, fuck it, I'll do 91 Bravo.
I'm here to sniff glue and turn wrenches, and I'm all out of fucking glue.
Give me all that exhaust fumes.
Yeah. All right. So that okay. I get the whole. Yeah, that makes sense. I like it.
Because I mean, going into the recruiter, I knew nothing about the military. I knew nothing about MOS. I knew nothing about jobs. What was
Most
offered.
people, especially young, you really don't know unless you're old man winners over here that fucking.
And then
also smart as shit is Major Pete here.
Want.
Major Pete.
Right.
I like.
And it also depends on your recruiter. It's like, okay, do they need to meet a certain quota with this MOS to get filled at that time?
Yeah. How old were you when you joined?
I was 19.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're a fucking idiot at 19. Like everyone's an idiot at 19. I don't care how smart you are. Even Pete at 19, as smart as he is, still a fucking idiot at 19. We're all dumbasses. There's a select few that could actually really chew down and get life at 19. So I get it. Like,
and I scored pretty well on the ASAP. I scored a 71.
Yeah,
so
fucking solid.
Gucci, man.
Fuck yeah.
Are you still happy with your MOS choice now, this many years later?
Yeah. I enjoy it.
Which actually, I got a few questions about that in just a few seconds about that because there is some changes here. Before we get there, I just wanted to ask the thing: your first duty station, like so on the reserve side, because you are active now.
Yeah.
But on the reserve side, you went. It kind of gets a little crazy. And
yeah,
before I'm gonna try to dissect this slowly. So first duty station, let's go there. Where was that at?
So when I first enlisted, I was supposed to be at a unit in Fort Sheridan. I forget what it was. It was what kind of company, but it was I was supposed to be there.
Okay.
So I signed the paperwork. So I go to basic. About a week before I'm about to graduate basic training, my drill sergeant pulls me aside and he's like, "Hey, so we got word that the unit that you just got attached, that you're assigned to, is no more." I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like,
That's so crazy.
So apparently the unit that I was originally attached to got disbanded, and then they ended up moving up to Minnesota. So they're like, "All right, so you're gonna need to find a new home." So here comes family day. It was either family day or graduation day. I was at what I assume is retention at Fort Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
There, I'm sitting there with him. And he's like, "All right, so we need to find you a new home before we move you on to AIT." So my best friend was at a fueling company, and I was telling him everything that was going on, and he tells me, "Well, we have 91 Bravo slots open here. Why don't you try to see if they could put you here, and then you and I can, drill together, ride together, do all this fun stuff
We need
together.
to balance out with the Chinese spies in this unit.
We need more brown folks." So I eventually talked to the retention. And I told him like, "Hey, this UI, I'm gonna do your job for you. Here's a UIC. Put me in this unit. They got slots for me." So he ended up working his magic. So I ended up getting placed in that.
That's why he got advanced.
So then that's how I ended up in my what is my second unit, but my first home.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
Okay. Sorry, a little behind here. There we go. All right, that interesting spot there. Now there's more that goes on with that. Yeah. So you got to E5 pretty quick though in your first unit. I believe in the first 3 years you were there, right?
Yeah.
So you're pretty. Is it like self-motivated or is that like driven? NCO wise, like down on top of you, like, hey, let's get up there.
It was just so I made it up to E4 pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it was just one of those things that
from Fuzzy, which is great.
Right. Yeah.
I'm looking at your timeline here. 3 years is.
I was always told that you're in charge of your own career.
Absolutely.
No one else is gonna take care of your career, for your career. So I was always like adamant about like, okay, when can I make the next rank?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So there's only a few people I try to get really cool with in the unit. That's the S1.
And before you go on, because when you're saying trying to make next rank, I just feel like some people go, "Oh, this guy just wants to be a rank up guy."
Mhm.
Let me tell you, this fucking guy ain't one of those fucking jokes.
Right.
You are one of those soldiers that is fucking amazing with not only your soldiers but other other sections. Even mine, like my people.
Being an elitist, right?
Yeah.
I totally appreciate your work ethic, to your NCOisms in terms of taking care of Joes. Right, doesn't matter whose Joes they are, just taking care of Joes.
It's being a good person in general.
Right.
It's actually just being a good person.
Right.
I think that fuck the NCO thing. I think it's just being a good person. Like,
but part
but
of
leadership is there. But like, I think he's just a
it
decent human being.
It has to play
So
into it too, right?
put that
Still
out there.
doing the right thing and
Right.
what have you, right? and taking care of things that need to be taken care of, and never asking, the questions as far why me or this or that.
No, taking on other jobs.
Right.
which
Just sucking it up and fucking moving forward.
We're going to
right?
get on to that in a minute because I want to talk about, like, you've done, besides
Right.
other MOSs that you have been qualified in reclass for, we're going to get into a little bit more about this in just a few minutes here because it's kind of crazy. But once again, we're giving you, like, pats on the back. It's kind of nuts.
Yeah.
One reason I wanted you to come on here because I've working with you for the last few years and you're leaving the unit shortly.
Right.
I wanted you to come on because you're fucking awesome, dude. And
So
I
you
believe
can mentor this fuck a little bit.
fuck off. And I believe I pissed you off a little bit, just a little bit this last summer. And you know what, Abby? And remember, don't give out anything specific.
I know.
But
no, it wasn't you. You were just caught in the crossfire.
Right.
That's all
right,
it was.
Right. I
Don't
really
tell
was.
them.
There was a
wasn't.
certain
It was
other
him.
individual that was just, I guess, was pretty upset.
You were
that
in charge of
didn't-
some shit, and you were in charge of it, and I had to step aside.
And you were sticking your dick where it don't belong. And trying to get
ranks didn't even
involved.
fucking matter at this
No,
goddamn point.
I get it.
Everything was.
You were trying to schmooze an easy way out.
Well, I was just having a good day, and I know he was in charge of some serious stuff that time.
right.
Yeah,
ranges.
So, yeah.
And
it was just more of safety, like.
oh, I get it.
And this other dude,
Yeah, that's
I'm
fine,
gonna call him a dude.
dude.
He was just upset he didn't qualify the first time, so he was just trying to rush back in there to qualify and then
Mhm.
call it a day.
I know, and I was just trying to be
So-
like, dude, like we've been safetying. Me and Pete were. What do we do all the time? We always safety. That's what we do. We help out. And
Right, but there was just
It was
there
end of day.
it was a pretty stressful event because there was just so much shit that could have gone wrong, and I would probably
Right.
would have put me behind bars
I know,
just
but
because.
I love that you're looking at you like you throw the fucking things. Like, fine, you fucking just shoot. You take over. And I was like, well, I could. I just don't want to.
Right.
like I didn't mean to. I'm not trying to piss you off, but this guy said we should do it, and I was kind of following his suit because you know what? I didn't really care at that point. I'm so tired.
Yeah.
I didn't realize this was gonna piss you
How
off.
about you qual the first time, asshole?
Yeah. I'm like, I felt so bad about it. That's why I
Yeah.
took you off to the side
Yeah,
afterwards, and I
yeah.
went like, hey, dude, that wasn't like I didn't start that little fucking.
No, I
thing
knew
there.
it wasn't you from the beginning. It's-
Yeah, that's not my style. Because I'll tell you right off the bat, I'm like, yo, dude, this is what I want to do, and you'll tell me no. I'm like, all right, you're in charge of this. That's not my lane. All right, I won't. You're the boss on this one. All right, so
What was the question? again?
yeah, we're
Yeah.
actually gonna get into this. All right, so you all right.
Reclass. You
Oh,
want-
no.
you want-
So after
my
after you made-
advancements. my
yeah.
advancements,
So after you made your 5 though, so that's when you went to the AGR side, right? Or you tried or applied to, or what's going on after you
So-
make your 5? Because you make your E5, right?
Well, I'll make it quick. So
No.
me leading up to E4. So like I said, I was always told you're in charge of your own career. You're the only one that cares.
Mhm.
So like I was saying, the only people I want to be cool, really, I try to be cool with is the S1 and the S4 supply.
Fuck yeah,
So-
absolutely.
So with my S1, my HR personnel, I was really cool with. So every time I met the requirements, time and grade, time and service, and all this stuff, I asked them like, hey, look, I'm up for the next advancement because I was in a whole maintenance platoon. We were always never really looked on because
Right.
the main attraction was always the fuelers. So us maintenance was like always like.
Yeah, you're in the shadows.
Right.
And this is what I love talking about between a reservist and like a full timer who's got a career. Like, so that's my fucking life. Like
Yeah.
the way they're talking about, like, well, let's get things going here because there's a plan here. Like, but why reservists are like, whatever, dude.
I don't know. Some reservists are serious about their career.
Oh,
So.
whatever. All right, go on, dude. Go on.
So I got cool with my S1. I told them, hey, look, I'm up for the next rank. All right. They did the paperwork. They got the commander to sign it. I slapped it on my chest. That's how I made specialist. I just slapped it on my chest. I'm like, all right, cool. As long as my pay is correct, that's all that
Right,
all that matters to me at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Right.
So for my E5, I was honestly I never made a promotion packet for my E5. At that time I was on ADOS orders. I was working at a maintenance shop, and I was like
ADOS is
inquiring.
active duty operational support for those that don't know what we're talking about. Even our active duty, like, what the fuck is
What the fuck
ADOS?
is ADOS? Yeah.
It's when you're reservist, then you got to do some active duty shit.
Yeah. So I was on ADOS orders, and that's when I started inquiring about AGR. So I was in E4 at that time. I put in my packet, and I was my mindset was like, I'll make AGR, and then I'll go through the promotion board. I'll do the whole yard and make my E5.
Right.
So I put in my packet in July. In August, at the beginning of August, I was in Disney World living my best life. And I get a text from my training NCO, and he just tells me,
The military in Disney World, it just fucking clicks. Where you going? I'm going to Disney World.
"Oh boy!" My training NCO sends me a text message, and he tells me, "Congratulations, Sergeant." And I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" So he sends me a screenshot of his computer, is like my orders.
Oh.
So my promotion orders. So my training NCO was the one who took it upon himself to put in my promotion packet and send it up to the board and got me my 5.
So you're a piece of shit and never filled out your own packet.
No.
And you had your boss do it for you. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
So that's how I ended up putting it up 5.
I love it. Like you didn't even have to do
I didn't do the
you know the
paperwork.
hustle that you have to go through that though. Like there's a lot of like shit to put together in a packet and
Yeah.
signatures that have to get done. What a great NCO.
Yeah, he was great.
That's
Yeah, he was good. He was one of my favorite NCOs.
I'm gonna bring him over to my side. Is he alive still?
Yeah,
Still
he's up in Michigan. He's
Is he still-
AGR too.
Oh, shit,
So-
let's get him back over. Let's get him on my side. I'll take care of all my paperwork like
I
that.
thought we're
for
gonna
him.
have a new great training NCO too. So he's coming up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we do have a new.
He's
one.
on the up and up.
Our Jonesy.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
who didn't show up today because he was sick after his trip to Ian and made it back from Florida.
Right.
Anyway, go on.
Yeah. So then I made my 5, and before I even made it to AGR, I was a part of this, I guess, special task force. I don't even say special task force. It was C2CRE, like a quick response force for national disasters in the country.
Oh, cool.
So, so
That's
we
not very special to me. But all right, cool. Yeah.
so I did that for a couple months, and then it wasn't until my battalion announced that they were deploying, and they were needing people. So then that's when they sent out to all the lower companies like, hey, who wants to come deploy with us? So I always said that if I don't make this a career, I at least want one deployment under my belt, so at least I can say I did something.
Yeah, because I've got so many questions like that meld all into this one. Because at the same time, I believe you did some reclassing.
Yeah. So then
Let's get into this whole. All right, let me ask 3 questions or 4 questions at once, and you could probably answer all of it.
All right.
So after what you did a reclass. You could talk about the reclass in a second, and then you're trying for the AGR program is out. You're trying to figure that out and why you're doing it because it's so chill. I want to know all these questions, and then you have some mix-ups. So normally I would try to break this down, but I know the story is all over the place.
Yeah, so it's all over the place.
So shoot from there.
All right. So then I put in my transfer packet to go to battalion for deployment. And in January of 2019, I transferred battalion as a 91 Bravo, filling in a slot that was meant for an AGR as a TPU.
Okay.
So about 2 months in, I get pulled aside by someone in my 3 shop, and they're telling me, like, hey, so the slot that you're in is getting filled by an actual AGR. So you have 2 options. We could either send you back to your old unit, or we could send you to reclass to 17 Echo, electronic warfare operator.
And that's so. It's so okay. Electronic warfare operator, like that's so different from 91 Bravo, right?
Needs
Like
of the army, though, right?
Like you're coming now into the camo aspect of shit.
It's
a little
more S2. It's more
but
intel, camo. It's a little bit of both.
It's signal and
because of
intel.
the type of equipment,
It's SIG-ENT
the
is the
equipment
big
that
thing.
you work with. Yeah.
Like, trust me, I know I've got a lot of guys that. I'm trying to toot some horns here, people I know, but some of my good friends are SIG-ENT guys that were signal guys and ended up doing that kind of shit. So yeah, I get it. I still call it signal because it goes electronic, motherfucker. Because I'm a commo asshole. Anyway, go on.
Right.
Enough about myself. Go on.
So I told my S3 person, I'm like, well, I'm never fucking going back to that unit. So I'll go to reclass. I start putting on my paperwork to go to reclass. My S1 pulls me aside now and said, hey, this AGR slot is still open. I know you've told me you've been wanting to go AGR. You know, like, come to my office, we'll put your packet together, we'll submit it, and then I'll reach out to my contacts at HRC to see if we could pull you in directly. So I told him I'll do you one better. I already have an approved packet. I'm just waiting for an assignment. And he's like, that's even better. So he made a quick phone call to HRC, and they told him, like, hey, we already
Human
have
Resources Command for civilians. And AGR is Active Guard Reserve. Once again, sorry, I gotta do it every now and then.
No, you're good.
Because there's people that are like, oh, what?
What the fuck is that? So he made that phone call. He told him, like, hey, we already have someone that's in the slot, and he already has a packet. He's only waiting assignment. So can we just pretty much just like bring him on board?
Yeah, do a by name request.
Yeah, a by name request. So that's the last I heard of it. And then meanwhile, we were still trying to figure out like what happened to this other dude that was supposed to come into the slot. So we ended up calling the number that we had for him, and it turned out to be like a retired first sergeant where this dude was living with him.
Usually what happens, right? It's always something that's out.
Right.
Yeah.
Fucking call me for.
So I guess this guy was living with him, and that's what the point of contact was. And then
Update the duty roster.
Oh,
So they were able to tell us that because a guy heard that the unit was going on deployment, he was able to like get HRC to like send them somewhere else because he didn't want to deploy. So I'm like, well, good. It's even better for me.
Right.
So I didn't hear anything for a while. So I ended up going to reclassing school. I was going to Fort Sill. It's a 2-day trip. On the first day,
Fucking Fort Sill, dude. Don't even fucking get me started with that place. The place sucks.
on the first day I was driving, I had to spend the night because we're only allowed to drive so many mileage or so many hours. So I got a hotel, and on my way there, I get a call from my S1 telling me like, hey, have your phone by you. You're about to get a phone call with an offer for the AGR position.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, sweet. Got no phone call, but I checked my emails, and that's where I got the notification in my emails. So here I am at a hotel trying to like do all this paperwork and sign documents and fax documents, email documents, scan documents, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I get it done. I send it to the guy, and it's complete silence for about 2 weeks. So I'm
That's,
just
by the way,
Typical
that's
Army.
fucking typical Army as shit, dude. Like, oh yeah. Oh, you just send it over? Yeah, I'll get it right to you.
Yeah.
Hurry
Hurry
up,
up,
hurry up,
hurry up,
urgency.
hurry up.
You won't hear shit for, especially in that department of HRC,
Right.
S1. Like, not knocking our S1 bros out there, but Jesus fucking Christ, get your shit together. Like, you get an email, just fucking respond to it at least. Like, just give me like, okay, it'll be a while.
don't just ignore me.
Yeah, just, like at least give me a while, like, because the follow up emails, I'm always like following up on
Right.
yesterday's email that I've gotten a response to.
I've learned that if you put in the subject follow up number 1, follow up number 2, they respond a lot quicker than just the original subject. But
I like to just call them, like, what the fuck, like, is your problem?
Where's
Like,
my money, Fink?
Yeah, like I'll call Fink up all the goddamn time,
Yeah.
and I could say because he's been on the show, he knows he's been here,
Mhm.
whatever. I was contemplating him coming on this episode. I don't know. I didn't want some blood between you or Tim. I don't know if you guys have a problem or not. He's S1, so I figured he probably
Right.
would. And it's Fink, you know. Fuck you, dude. But yeah, dude. Like, I'll just call him straight. I'm like, dude, what the fuck?
yeah.
You know, because you'll send something and I'll just go right back. Like,
Mm-hmm.
really? Like, where's my money, man? Anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
Go on.
So 2 weeks passed by, and I think I'm just finishing up an exam. And I stepped out of the classroom and I looked at my phone because we were working in a secret environment, so we had to leave our
Mhm.
phones outside
Mhm.
in a locked box. So when I go outside and look at my phone, I see a missed call and I get a voicemail. And it's from the guy from HRC saying, hey, we got the go-ahead from the colonel to cut your orders. Give me a call back, so we could figure this out. So I have like maybe 2-hour lunch break. I go back to my hotel room and I call this guy. And then he tells me, yeah, we're good to go. To cut your AGR orders. Let me know when you could start so I could go ahead and, publish the orders.
Right.
And then I tell him like, well, actually, I'm currently at a school right now. I didn't tell him I was reclassing. I just like, hey, I'm at a school. You kind of want to watch what you say, those type of things. So I'm like, I'm at a school right now, so I mean, I can't get off these orders. He's like, well, how long is it? Well, it's 9 weeks. He's like, oh, well, you're gonna have to get off those orders right away, so we could cut these. I'm like, oh shit.
Well, how do you get out of that?
Right. So
Like,
here I am. I'm
It's
like,
like you're at schoolhouse orders. Like, that's some serious shit,
Right.
actually, because that reflects too. Like, if you fuck something up,
and it's not just a regular class. It's like a whole reclassing.
It's a reclass.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
a big deal. That's if
You
for
took away
those.
someone's billet and all that.
Mhm.
So for those that don't know what they're talking about, like, you're reclassing. What you're doing is you're re-educating yourself for a new job in the
Yeah.
military. All right, and so that's a big deal
Right.
when you're doing it. It's for some of our active people that haven't done it or civilians that are listening.
Mhm.
That's a fucking deal. Like, you're being set up and somebody's paying a lot for you to go there. It's
We
really
were staying at a hotel too.
that
So
money is
hotel,
scheduled for you. Like, that's a dollar amount. It's also like you can't just yank out of that shit unless like World War III happens. But go on.
Right.
So when he tells me that, I call my first sergeant and I'm like, yo, this is what's going down right now. I need your help. So I explained to him the whole situation, and he's like, okay, first of all, relax. Second of all, it's true that they need to cut your orders right away, but the start date doesn't have to be as soon as tomorrow.
Right.
They could always push it back to another date. So I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So he's like, you know what? Just give me the guy's number. I'll go ahead. I'll talk to him, and then just wait for my call. I'll call you back. I'm like, all right, cool. So about 20 minutes pass by, nothing. 30 minutes, nothing. And then I finally get a call back, and he's like, all right, man, you're all set. You're all good to go. They're going to start your orders the day after your reclassing ends.
Nice.
Or your school ends. I'm like, oh, sweet. He's like, but you need to call him, and you need to tell him that that's what you want, because he needs to hear from you. I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, that's fair.
Fair.
So then I call the guy, and I'm like, yeah, whatever the last guy said, yeah, that. Let's do
Yeah.
that.
Meanwhile, you're running 30 minutes late back to class.
No, honestly, like this whole thing, I didn't even eat lunch because I was
Yeah.
just sitting in my room, like waiting to see what the fuck was gonna happen. Am I gonna
Right.
have to go back from this break to talk to like the instructors and be like, yeah, I need to drop out because I
Yeah.
need to start an AGR program.
Right.
But so all right, so this all has a pack. This mix up, which is fucking nuts. Like it's back and forth. You're starting this program, AGR,
Yep.
going this back. That's a lot of paperwork, by the way, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the meantime, there's a deployment going on
Yeah.
where you're about to.
Well, yeah, we
go
were
off
still getting
on.
ready to deploy.
And AGRs don't actually deploy, as far as I know. They were at a long period of time, right? Am I off on that one?
It
by the
depends
way?
on MOS. And,
Yeah.
and all that stuff.
It depends
right?
on and then what where you're going and what you're doing.
Right.
Okay, because I for the longest time was like usually AGRs are stationed like at their home base, taking care of
Mhm.
their reserve units and all that crap. They're not when deployments come up. They're usually not going off on them because they need them.
It
to
all
take care of-
depends.
Yeah, and
It all depends.
All right, so anyway, go on.
So we were able to cut the orders. I got the orders, and then it started the next day that I graduated, and I even told the guy because this fucking reclass sucked. Like holy shit, we had like an exam almost every week or every other week,
Well, it's very technical.
and
Yeah.
it was not open book. It was just like whatever you learned and you studied and you knew.
Hold up, not open book.
It was
for
not open book.
when it comes to like it's military and it's a commo-esque.
It involved a shit load of
class, right?
science, a lot of math, a lot
Yeah.
of a lot of stupid questions. I learned a shitload about antennas.
Fuck that shit.
Antenna.
So all of it was just the only open book test I had was when we had to just look through Army regulations and technical manuals and TCs and all that stuff. It's
That's
just
crazy.
that's it. Just because
All right.
there's no
Right.
way you can memorize all that. So I mean, I even told the guy like, listen, we may even have to amend these orders depending if I don't even pass the next exam.
Right.
I can start a lot quicker than in June. But
You know what? Maybe I can get out of this
Right,
reclass.
yeah, give me a couple weeks.
This
I'll get back to
fucking
you.
Sucks. Yeah. Let's start it off. All right, keep going though. Keep going.
So I ended up graduating, thankfully, by the skin of my teeth, and then I started the AGR program.
It kind of reminds me of like that Forrest Gump meme, like, is he smart or is he like me? No, I'm just joking.
No, you're good.
That's fucking. Go on, yeah.
So then I get back in June. It's about a month later in July. I get an email from HRC again, and they tell me, the position you're in no longer exists.
Really?
Yeah, you're in pretty much just in, I forget what it's called. Anyways, I could only stay there for up to a year.
Okay. So like
So-
kind of like a hang by status.
Yeah,
Like some
it's just
sort of
a-
temporary bullshit.
Yeah, it's just a temp slot where I could stay there up to a year, so I'll move. I'd have to get moved. And then now I was like, holy shit, am I going to deploy or am I going to get moved or
Yeah.
PCS because of
Right.
there's no longer a job for me here?
Mhm.
So yeah, let's get to that point. Like, where first of all, where was this deployment supposed to go?
We were going to Kuwait,
Okay, and then
Camp Air John.
All right, so time frame here from you're trying to figure this shit out to a point you actually end up deploying, right?
Yeah, so this was in the summer of 2019, and we deployed in December of 2019. So
Okay.
it was all pretty much all leading up to my deployment. This was all happening.
So this is all going on, right? You figure it all out though, right?
Yeah.
Everything gets figured out. You finish off your reclass.
Yep.
You end up going to what unit at this point? Like or whatever.
It was a battalion.
Okay. And then you end up deploying.
Yep. It
And
was
you
a-
go to Kuwait.
Yep.
And well then actually changes over a little bit there too, right?
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's get into that really quick. Hold on,
Okay.
that's I'm trying to. It's very winded here. Your story's fucking insane.
So
it's
this
so
is-
complex.
All right, so
of
this
what's
is the
going
crazy
all over
part,
there.
right? So I get picked up AGR for 91 Bravo.
Yeah.
I reclassed to 17 Echo.
Right.
That's what they keep me in the UMR as. So
Mhm.
while I'm in the UMR, so that's like the list of all
Mhm.
MOSs of the people that's
Thank you for
tasked to
describing it,
go
so I don't
in.
have to do it. Thank God.
Test is
Unit
going.
manning
You-
roster.
Mhm.
You're getting it. Thank you.
So I'm there still as a 17 Echo. So they
Mhm.
bring in a reservist, 91 Bravo, to fill in the position.
Okay.
So then here I am, like, am I going to go over there overseas and do my actual AGR job or what's going on?
Right.
Because they just brought in an E4 specialist to fill in that slot.
Mm-hmm.
So we end up going overseas, and I end up filling in as, I mean, I'm still under 17 Echo in the
Okay.
S3 shop.
So you actually deployed as a 17 Echo?
Yeah. I deployed as a 17 Echo.
Okay, so you actually were doing.
No,
well,
I was not.
But you were doing it. All right. Well, that's all right.
No,
Next
that's-
question.
that's where-
paper.
On paper, yeah.
Yeah.
So when I got to Kuwait, I was in charge the NCOIC of the what was it? Oh, why can't I remember what it's called?
Don't mind the piss noise really quick. Sorry, it should be quieter. I got bourbon on tap, by the way, guys. How's it going?
So I was in charge of the cell where our main responsibility was to coordinate all bus movement in and out of Kuwait from the airport to and from. So people deploying, redeploying.
You were a fucking bus driver?
Well, no, I just told the bus drivers where to go.
Oh, okay.
And then I also had to communicate with the Kuwaiti police because all of our movements needed a police escort.
Okay.
And the Kuwaitis just wanted to feel like they were a part of it. They were helping the Americans because we didn't really need escorts.
I mean, it's been, at this point, 20-something years since Iraq took over that area. All right. But anyway, that's good. All right, go on.
So I was in charge of that. So all that entails 88 November job, which is just movement. And
Right.
here I am as an A1 Bravo, now a 17 Echo, doing an 88, what was supposed to be an E7 slot as an E5, 88 November job.
Okay.
Nice.
But then, what else happens? There's something more that happens here. It escalates a little bit, right?
Which time? Which part?
Well, right after that, right? I mean, it goes on because during your deployment, you kind of ended up
Oh, somewhere else?
going a little further on than
Yeah.
Kuwait. Just Kuwait. Kuwait's not that bad, right?
So a lot of shit happened in the 3 months. A lot of people lost rank. A lot of people lost positions. Not in my unit, but in the down trace units that we were in charge of.
Damn Kuwait.
So a lot to were doing a whole bunch of no-nos.
Yeah. Well,
So-
idle hands do the devil's work, when you're sitting around being
But go
bored
on,
all the
there's
time.
more to this,
Yeah.
though. I know there's more to this.
So a lot of people started getting shifted around.
Mm-hmm.
So my first sergeant got sent to another base. He got sent to Ali Haslam to take command over there.
Mm-hmm.
And we had an E6 that was in Iraq.
Mm-hmm.
He got tasked to come back to Kuwait to take charge as first sergeant for the battalion, the HSC. And then I get pulled into my battalion commander's office, and he tells me, hey, so we're sending you to Iraq. So that's happening. I'm like, okay.
Okay, cool.
All right. No, for real? Serious?
I thought I was going Kuwait.
Right, I thought I was going to be here this whole
Kuwait
time.
the whole time.
You see what had happened was...
I had a nice setup in my barracks. I had a super cool setup. I had a mini fridge. I had a TV hanging at the bed of the feet of my bed.
You
I
thought
had the
you were
whole-
fucking chilling.
I thought I was gonna-
Kuwait was gonna be the shit. You're gonna have a good
Yeah.
time. The next thing you know, boom, Iraq. All right.
Boom, yeah. So I
Kuwait's
get,
not a real deployment anyway.
But you earned a
it-
patch,
but
right?
yeah,
But guess what? You just earned a patch.
I did. And so
Going to Iraq, son.
it was around March time frame that I ended up getting sent to Iraq.
Hot, 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 hot.
So-
Wait, hold on. I gotta do it. Oh yeah, you're like fuck this shit because you're also in the danger zone. All right. Anyway, go on. Sorry.
So
Had to do it.
So the crazy part was that earlier that year, around January, the U.S. had just killed Soleimani in Baghdad.
Oh yeah.
So we were there for the whole ordeal. So like everything just shut down. Everything went black. We were wearing our IOTVs, our full body kits,
Yep.
going to the shitter.
Hey,
to
what
the-
year is this?
2020 at this point.
Wow, that's crazy. That even that's at that point,
Oh,
shit
yeah.
was still like
Just because you don't hear it on CNN.
no.
Spicy.
Yeah, because then that entailed the 82nd BCT, the Brigade Combat Team. I think.
Mhm.
Crazy.
They all came over to overseas. That was like that's when like it went on the news. Oh, all 82nd is
Yeah,
going,
yeah.
getting
So-
sent overseas and this and
The
that.
surge.
Mhm.
So really quickly though, like when you're talking to your commander is talking to you about this shit and saying you're going over there, and did you want to go or what's going on?
At that point, I was for it. I was like, well,
You sure it wasn't?
I'll cradle the balls, stroke the shaft, work the pipe, and swallow the gravy. Get it over here, buddy. Let's do this.
I know, like trying
I
to
mean,
get out
if
of
it
it.
got me out of Kuwait, you know.
All right,
That place
go
was a hell.
on, go on.
So yeah, so then Kuwait, like they had us pretty much wear everything just in case, like we did get attacked.
Yeah.
And then that's also when they stormed the embassy over in Iraq as well.
Yeah,
And so they
I
sent
remember
all
that.
the Marines over there. The Marines were there with us in Cap Arifjan, and then like from one night to the next, they were all gone. So that was pretty crazy. And So then that was in the beginning of the year. So everything started easing up, and then March comes around. And then that's when I get into Iraq. And then what else happened in 2020 around March, April? COVID happened.
Oh, yes, the good old COVID-19. Yes. Go on.
So then I was so damn lucky that I got sent to Iraq like a few days early as I did. Because if I would have waited any extra days, Kuwait would have shut down from COVID. All air travel would have shut down. All movement would have shut down, and I would have been stuck there.
So being deployed during COVID, how does that work? Was there like...
So
were you wearing a mask over in Iraq?
So if you ask me how my experience for COVID during my deployment in Iraq was, I'm going to tell you I had the greatest time of my life.
I bet you probably had more freedom in Iraq than the rest of the world did, because you're just walking around there like, oh, I got a gas mask if there's something happens. But
well, no, we didn't even take that. But
what is this COVID?
The crazy part was that in Kuwait, like everything shut down. So all the Kuwaiti nationals that were pretty much running the whole base, they weren't allowed back in.
Okay.
Yeah, but you're in Iraq.
So
let's
right, but so I'm hearing from everybody in Kuwait that they were doing all these shitty details.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, I'm in Iraq just living my best life. Like it took Iraq about a month and a half from the time that I got there to like shut down. So for like the most part, our defect was still open. We were still just not wearing masks. We were just casually
COVID ain't coming
walking.
in there. COVID ain't coming in there. Like
Right. What could be more dangerous than getting blown up or shot at? COVID?
Yeah. So, I mean, eventually around late April, early June, that's when everything shut down. So the gym closed down, the defect closed down. So we just went in there to get to-go plates, and you had to wear a mask whenever you were entering a building. But if you were outside, you didn't have to wear one. And then after that, it was just work and go back to my room.
So, so you lived through COVID in Iraq, which is got to be really weird, right? While the rest of the world is like freaking out.
Yeah,
you're in a war zone at that point. Like I know Iraq is like it's still sketchy, right? I'm not.
I mean, we received IDF.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's not fucking a hot shit zone. It's still fucking weird as
I remember I was talking to my friends back at home, and I would tell them like I'd rather be here receiving IDF than being back at home when like everybody was going crazy trying to buy toilet paper, waters, and people were getting
crazy
stabbed.
As that sounds, it makes fucking complete sense though.
Yeah, like
really
just dealing with the whole ordeal, and just buying surplus, and people getting stabbed, and I don't know if people died over stuff, like people got shot at or whatever the case may be. Like hey, fire away
at the Ross for less.
So after your deployment, or this crazy deployment, if you got more to it, tell me more. But it seems like, wow, that's kind of crazy. Yeah. Actually, one question during the deployment, like, what the fuck when COVID did hit? Like, finish off that part actually, like the COVID part of it,
like what happened, like how it, like
you guys were like wearing masks afterwards.
So
or, like,
in Iraq, no, I mean it was a lot more relaxed in Iraq than when I got back to Kuwait. In Iraq, like I said, the only time we had to wear a mask was when really we went inside the defect and the PX.
That's it.
Like we went into the building where we worked at, and we weren't wearing a mask or anything like that.
Overall, how was the deployment? Like just
on a scale of 1 to 5 Hooahs.
Like how? Yeah,
I'll give that a 4.
Was it?
I'd give it a 4.
Okay. It's not bad.
Okay, all right, 4, not bad. All right.
I mean, I did get a whole bunch of ribbons out of it, so my uniform looks pretty nice.
Everybody gets ribbons when they go over fucking seas, bro. That's how it works.
I got my cab out of it because like 1 month in, it was my first time experiencing
it. Combat action badge for those that don't know what they're talking about. You got, dude. There's civilians that listen to the show. They have no clue.
So I received IDF, indirect fire, for those of you that don't know what it is.
Those are privates that don't know what the fuck we're talking about too.
So about a month in, it was the middle of the night, and I just remember hearing the sirens go off. Like you just hear incoming, and then you hear the siren go off. And then at that point, you got to don your body armor, don your weapons, and make your way to the bunker. And then this was like one of the only times where I did hear like the impact. Like I think that one actually did hit on base. It hit like one of the connexes next to the PX. So
not the lickies and chewies.
No, not the lickies and chewies.
That's kind of crazy. Like even though at 2020 at that time, right? That's kind of nuts that that's still happening, right?
Well, we would receive it multiple times during the week, and it would always be around the same time. They already kind of had an idea of when we were all sleeping.
Yeah,
and then that's when they just
that in, right?
Yeah, they just shoot away I mean, I was
wait,
only,
Usually when it got dark.
There's Sleepy Pete
Right.
over there. Can we get a little Sleepy Pete?
Yeah.
Like,
Fuck
I'm
off.
tired. Major Pete's like, oh, this bores me. Anyway, go on.
so yeah. So I mean, that was a fun experience. Getting IDF multiple times a week to the point where if I didn't hear the impact, I would just stay in bed.
Okay.
Did you get to work on any of your correspondence courses?
You laugh, but I was working on them to
Good.
get my promotion points up.
Absolutely. Good for you.
Okay. All right. That's fucking crazy. Interesting story for 2020. How nuts shit was still in Iraq and during COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. Past all your mix-ups to where we're at, and then after. Jesus, trying to follow your whole story. It's fucking nuts here, dude. There's a lot going on there.
Well, then he comes to us.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. You come to us.
So I almost didn't come to the 16th.
Well, but you came to.
Yes.
Well, you don't. 16 is all we're saying. That's we don't give our unit number. We'll
Right.
bleep that out. Timestamp that at. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I said even too. Jesus Christ, that's a rule we have around here. We don't say our fucking unit. That's the welcome packet, dickhead. All right, where are we at?
You skimmed through it
so
like
yeah,
you
so-
skimmed through his. Jackass. Now you know how it feels.
I wasn't trying to skip. I was trying to get to.
I just look for the time hacks. I'm like, okay, that's
trying
all
to
I
get
need
some
know.
key points on some shit.
Well, you
here.
come to us.
But yeah, so
Almost like right
so
after, right?
I almost didn't come to this unit because when I was still in Kuwait, that's when I was talking to HRC, talking about, all right, where am I going to next? Because obviously I've exceeded this one year window
Yeah.
that I'm supposed to move, so I'm supposed to be going somewhere else. So, long story short, I had two options. I had the unit where I'm at now,
Mhm.
or the other unit was an engineering route clearance unit,
Okay.
but it was just standing up.
Wait. Rock clearing?
Route clearance?
Oh, route. I thought you said rock
Route.
cleaning.
I'm sorry,
I'm
route.
like, I
route
thought-
clearance.
I said rock clearing. Like, what the fuck is a rock clearing unit?
So, but that unit was just standing up. They had really no full-time staff yet.
Okay.
And I would have been one of the few. So, I'm like, well, I'm tired of being in, because it was still located in the same building I was already at. So I was really
Right.
gonna go nowhere. So I'm like, I need to go somewhere else.
Sure.
So I talked to HRC. I'm like, can you send me to somewhere else? Send me to where I'm at now. And they try to get technical about it and be like, whoa, we're gonna try to send you what's closest to you. That unit is still in the same building that you're in. I'm like, well, if you want to get technical about it, the unit I'm trying to go to is only 39 miles away. The other unit you're trying to keep me at is 51 miles away. So you do the math of what's closest to me.
Right.
So then after my deployment, I took about a month and some change of leave. So I didn't come back to work until like the end of October.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when I got my orders to come to where I'm at now.
Okay. And then, okay. Where we're at. Okay. And, by the way, being here, you've been here how long? It's
Oof.
been like 5, no, not 5 years. A little
2
shorter.
years.
Few years. 3 years?
No, less than that.
2?
No, I just got here last.
No, 2
in
years.
20.
It feels like you've been here forever.
I got here in 2021.
Jesus Christ. That's right. It's 2022. What am I saying?
I've only been here for, what are we in now? In October?
Jesus, it
in
feels like you've been here
January, so
forever.
A
Actually.
year and 8 months.
You know why it does? Because, like, no, you're not a piece of shit. It
Because
just
of impact.
impact. Yeah, exactly. You've impacted our lives. You've done a great thing around our unit, and it's fucking shitty that you're leaving because you're about to leave, right?
Yeah.
It's about to happen. You're about to go move on. Some career progression. You're doing this full-time thing here, and that's actually my next question here is, what's the plan? Like, you're doing this long haul? Like, you think of this as a career-wise? You're gonna try to get some more military ed, civilian ed.
Mhm.
Let's
So-
break that all down in one.
So at this point, I'm going to tough it out and do my 20. I'll do my 20 active years.
Fuck yeah,
So if I play this correctly, I'll be able to retire when I'm 44.
Mm-hmm.
beautiful.
And hopefully during the meantime, I'll be able to get like at least my master's degree.
Good.
So I'm finishing up my bachelor's in kinesiology.
Very good.
So then after
Wait.
that,
In what?
kinesiology.
What?
So
Study of the body.
yeah,
Oh,
so
okay,
I wanted to
okay.
go. My original plan before I went AGR and I did all this nonsense. I wanted to be a physical therapist. So kinesiology is just the base.
You want to jerk guys off? Okay, let's go. All right, that's fair.
I didn't say massage therapist.
Same thing.
Right.
So
I'm just fucking around.
No,
Dude.
yeah,
Come on.
Show me where it hurts.
Previous conversation with Pete. You need to fucking stop making fun of people.
Hey, I'm all for it. If I can't laugh at myself, then what?
It's just a joke. All right, go on. So jerking guys off. Go on.
Yep. So I'm hoping to make that a profession when I retire.
All right, hold on. Let me. Where's Jones with the sharp posters? I'm about to whip my dick out right now.
So yeah,
Wide angle that shit. It's about to come out. All right, go on.
So I hope to get my master's degree. During my whole time I'm in the AGR program finishing up. Hope to retire and then just go work at the VA, helping wounded
We've got
warriors.
life goals. I love it.
We need
Yeah,
good
that-
people.
Love
We need
your
good people in
life
the VA.
goals. Love your life goals.
Trying to be that disgruntled vet that works at the VA.
Absolutely.
What are you doing here?
You get stuck at CIF.
Yeah. So
Your uniform is dirty. You just pull it out of a plastic bag and never opened.
I think at this point I have a very short window if I want to, because I've been contemplating going on the officer route.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I've had a lot of people tell me like I should do it.
Mhm.
So
The
wait,
retirement's a lot
You're really
better.
gonna go the O route?
I've been thinking about it.
Well, when you think about stacking retirement and making the money and all that stuff, it totally makes sense,
Mhm.
right? If you're willing to deal with that line of bullshit that comes along
Right.
with being an O, right?
Because if I go the O route, it's either going like the officer route or going warrant. I've been leaning more towards warrant.
Warrant. Go warrant.
But-
is the best way ever. Let me tell you, Warren is. Yeah, go Warren.
No, 100%.
Also, one of our friends, he just got picked up for OCS, potato.
Yeah, he went OCS, but we have another friend that is Warrant. I can tell you all
warrant
about
for
it.
17 series. Yep.
I believe you. Do you know Parker? He came on the show a few times. He was at our
No.
unit before.
I know Eck.
I believe
Eck
that
went
should have
warrant.
gone as
No,
Chief
not
P.
Eck. Nichols.
That's correct.
Nichols went warrant also
He did, yeah.
because he was the 17 series.
All these
in the
name
unit.
droppers.
Nichols.
OPSEC violators.
Gross, Nichols.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah,
But this is the last name.
but yeah, I've been thinking about going warrant, and I was trying to go while I was deployed
Mhm.
because there was a short window where you could put in your application to go AGR to AGR warrant. Because
Okay.
now at this point, if I want to go warrant, I have to get off the program, go back to being a reservist, put in my packet, get picked up, and then once I become warrant, then I would have to redrop a whole AGR and hopefully get picked up again.
Right.
So that's all. That's kind of why I'm a standstill. Like if I even want to go the O route, or I just want to tough it out and just continue being an NCO.
What I love about your story is you fucking didn't want anything to do with the military whatsoever. Nothing. Went fuck that shit.
Yeah.
Not
So
my fucking thing.
now.
To the point where you are literally like fucking making it a career choice and loving the shit out of it. And by the way, you do a fantastic fucking job out of it. Like, and I'm not even bullshitting. I'm not fluffing you here at all.
And it kind of falls in like with the type of advice that we give our folks, right? It's like Uncle Sam is going to get out of you what
you put in.
Uncle Sam needs and wants, right? Now, are you getting out of it what you want out of it too, right?
Oh yeah.
And there's obviously retirement. There's, all the other, education benefits, everything else that comes along with it. So by all means, pimp the government because the government's already pimped you a number of times.
Oh yeah.
I mean, dude, you're impressing human being. And actually, the only last few questions I have is your hobbies. Besides, it's one thing you didn't put in your bio here, which I forgot to tell you to put in there. You obviously look like a jacked individual. Like you lift some serious shit. Your traps right now are bigger than my fucking head. So let's get into that. You like that shit? What are your hobbies? Just give me your hobbies.
Well, I didn't write any hobbies because I don't really do much. This job consumed 99% of my life these last couple months. So, no, but in all seriousness, I've never really been one to do hobbies. I've been more driven into my work.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but you
So-
don't have something that like you. On
Well,
the
the working
side-
out.
Yeah,
It's just, that's all I ever really do. Like anybody ever asks me, so what do you really do? Like, oh, I just wake up, go to work out, go back home.
So working out's not maybe a hobby. You like playing video games though?
I do.
So well, the question is, what do you do for fun though? Like some release. What's your besides jacking off or fucking? What's your actual release?
So I guess if you really say what's like my release where I just like relax the most and just forget about everything.
I tie a
is-
belt around my fucking neck, bring it up real high.
No, so I have a group of friends that we've been best friends since like high school, since like freshman year in high school. We've been best friends. It's like a group of 6 of us, and the one time where I could forget about everything and just unwind and relax and just have a grand time is every time I hang out with them.
Mm-hmm.
So, but now that we're adults, we
People are
work and
marrying and having kids.
yeah.
And
I mean, only one of us is married right now. But I mean, none of us have kids, but it's just a job.
Yeah.
It's just work that's the most
how
time
old are
consuming.
you again? Sorry, I don't mean
I
to
am
bring it up.
27.
Ooh, young as fuck. I love it. That's so nice.
So, and then, I mean, we're a bunch of geeks, nerds. I mean, we'll go to like arcades, we'll go play mini golf, we'll go to
Yeah.
the bowling alley, we'll just, play video games. So like, if we can't hang out in person, then we'll play video games. We'll jump on PlayStation and just grind it out for hours until like 2-3 in the morning.
All right, so you got some
Okay.
hobbies.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Well-
but the whole working out started just because of the military.
You're
Like
a
I
fucking
was,
beast, dude. Look, I'm looking at you. I'm not being gay, but you're solid, man.
it's all show, man. It's all show. Everyone says, "Oh, you look strong." No, it's just show.
It looks good though. It looks good on
Yeah.
you. It looks very good.
Well, you're definitely going to be missed at the unit because obviously you've made an impact on so many different levels. Certainly met a crazy bunch of characters at this unit, as I'm sure are at any other unit. But you definitely made your mark, and best wishes for everything that's to come.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. This is like your kind of like
Going away spiel.
little send off here. Like, right, we're doing your own Semper Hooah send off here. We'll put it on the unit thing
Right.
on the website.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, just because I'm leaving doesn't mean that y'all can't reach out either, though.
Oh,
like
I'll
if
reach
y'all,
out all
if
the
y'all
goddamn
need
time.
something, like
I'm
I'm serious,
gonna
like,
bother you. I'm gonna bother you. Like,
Hey, my
motherfucker.
line's always open.
I'm going to bother you.
Yeah, if y'all ever need anything, I'll find out. I'll find a way.
I appreciate you coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you being in our unit.
Well, thank y'all for having me and welcoming me as y'all did, because I mean, I was filling in for the previous motor sergeant, and I know
That's
he
actually
was.
another thing too. Is like not
was-
even that, but like you actually filled in the supply level, like the whole, like all these jobs you just did. Like it was
Yeah.
fucking insane. The last.
I'm upset that now that I'm leaving, like all these positions are finally getting filled. You're gonna have a good,
By the way,
a supporting
your
cast.
sledgehammer, you're going away. I was with him when we got it. We were selecting it. He did all the work, by the way.
Oh, it's right there. That's going
I
in my
basically
office.
just got a drill to hang out with him to get your gift that the commander at that time gave us some money to give you like this, like if you have that thing, take that thing with you.
Oh yeah, it's going with me.
Yes.
Someone made a good point that now, like
smash some
that's
pussy
just
with that thing.
how heavy is it? Like 10 pounds?
It's a 10 pounder.
It's a 10 pounder?
Yeah.
Y'all just help me make money because that's 10 pounds I could put on my move.
Right.
If I want to do a self move.
Absolutely.
10
And by the
pounds
way,
right
Petey
there.
over here worked overnight.
Yeah.
Took a stock piece of shit from Home Depot and made that thing fucking beautiful for you in minutes.
No, it looks great.
You fucking better be great. Anyway,
I mean,
Alright.
it doesn't compare. I mean, the Buckner's got me a sword,
saber.
saber.
get the fuck out.
And
You
then
guys
seal
Yeah.
saber.
I got
wow.
a picture if you want to see.
I do want to, you know what? Save it for after the show.
Alright, we'll save it for afterwards, but it looks.
They give you a fucking
they got me
saber?
whole- Yeah, I wasn't
Yeah.
expecting that.
That's how awesome you are.
They give you
Anyway.
a candle first, and I would have been happy with the candle.
Get the fuck out. They give you a
It
saber.
smoles like motor pool.
Yeah.
They've known me longer. I've
Oils
gotten
and
shit.
lubricants.
I've got
and
Taco
dirty
Bell
rags.
from them. That's about as much
Yeah?
as I got from them.
Well, it shows how much you contribute.
Fucking Buckners, if you're listening right now, you pieces of shit, both of you. Anyway,
Yeah,
all
but
right.
I am gonna miss everyone at the unit though.
we
Like,
appreciate you.
this is honestly
very
the,
much.
the
And
best unit.
just coming on the show is fucking fantastic. Obviously, I know we've been doing a little bit of our own personal unit thing here besides our public show and persona we have here.
Mhm.
We talk about stuff. That's the thing is we bring a lot of people on from our unit that mean a lot to us and
And we don't know a lot of people outside the unit, so
yeah, we're
If
very
you wa-
closed off. If you want to come on the show,
Right.
Get one of those homeless vets to come on.
Yeah, right.
Get something. I'm pretty sure they got some stories for you.
we've had a few on. It's scary.
Sam is our
Sam is our actually
permanent homeless
yeah,
veteran.
which isn't even here because he's at the
He's now Carlos.
yeah he's carless. His home has been destroyed after he got carjacked. Poor Marine.
Yeah.
Lance will be back on once his wife is feeling a little bit better. That'll be great. Anyway, thank you for coming on the show. I really
Thank you.
appreciate
Yeah.
this and airing out your life for us and
Yeah.
having a good time with us. And then we're going to have to finish up our show.
That's
Excuse me.
right.
I'm going to do some pluggies at the end. Once again, thank you for coming on. All right, guys, thank you for listening. If you're listening to this point, you are a true listener. If you're not, fuck off. Obviously, you wouldn't hear that part, right? Because you're not there. All right, please like, follow, subscribe, share, remind yourselves we're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, all podcast platforms, and watch us on YouTube or at semperhooah.com. You can follow us on Facebook or Meta, right? Got to change that
Still
one up.
Facebook.
Right. At Semper Hooah Podcast and IG at Semper Hooah. Check out the merch at semperhooah.com. You can support the show at semperhooah.com with a monthly subscription of your choosing. 50% of merch profits go to Tango 3 Petey.
Tango 3. With your help, they'll support vetted organizational projects that help with veteran mental health issues and veteran suicide prevention through the sale of Dove Creek Akashu Wagyu beef jerky.
And don't forget to send the hate mail to contact at Semper Hooah. Once again, thank you Gil Lopez, Senor Sargento, for coming on the show.
Motor 2.
Yeah, we're gonna miss you here. You know, it'd be one thing like fill you in the closet, but you're gonna be gone. You're across country because you're active duty. Thanks for coming on, Petey. Thanks for being here, and fuck off to Sam, Jonesy, and who else could not make it today for their excuses. We'll see you guys next episode.
Bye, Felicia.